Ooh, it's very dramatic today. Hello, hello. Let me push this little button thing now. Never remember which one I pushed. There we go. Hello, hello everyone. I'm not late. I went live before 8. Come on now. Just adjust this down a bit. Thought I'd have a little bit of like dramatic music to start us off. Lift the mood a bit. It's a rainy day. It's wintry. We're a little bit under the weather. But we're here. How are we all doing, guys? How are we all doing? No, we were warming up. Gets everyone going, gets everyone warmed up here. No, just a little bit under weather, a bit of a sniffly nose. It's just that kind of year, that time of year, you know. Yeah, I know, right? It was totally and utterly raining like crazy. Totally crazy rain. And it was coming in like belts, like it'd be like nothing, and then all of a sudden like we're in a hurricane, and then it's okay, and then we're in a hurricane again. You did a massive gear cleanse. Whoa. I'm down to 190 in my inbox. That's pretty good, I think, compared to what I'm usually at. I'm normally at 300. Hey Dander. Yeah, Scotland I'd imagine is just as bad down here. Got some pointless gear to level up here. Let's just do that, see what we get. Yeah, that's a sell. Are we going to get a triple, double? Oh, that's not so good. We sell that. Just adjust this down a bit. There we go. Gear cleanse stream? Good God, no. After watching that 3 hours yesterday with Hellhades, I don't know if I could endure watching it again. That's a sell. These are just some of the pieces I picked up from Clan Boss that are just sitting there that I have to just check. Oh, that's resistance. I don't know. Probably a sell. It's so hard to get good cruel and immortal gear, I find. How do you define an end game player? Well, we have a guide on the website, Sammy, which kind of like explains how we evaluate it. But generally, end game is probably someone who completes Doom Tower hard, is probably pushing either Brutal or Nightmare Hydra. And your end game is kind of like getting like 5-second gains here or there in dungeons, right? You're looking for like very, very minuscule improvements. You've already got your Lydia, you've already got your Mithrala, you're probably in Gold Tag Team Arena. That is probably end game where you're really looking for like minute improvements. I mean, it's very important to do a gear cleanse. Like we saw yesterday, the value that you can get from a gear cleanse. Me, I just don't have the time and patience for it. So what I'll normally do in a gear cleanse is kind of like what Hellhades did yesterday, where it was like he will wait for an artifact enhancement event and then do it in the artifact enhancement event until you complete that event and then stop. Like if I do that, I can normally get my inbox down by 100 to 50 pieces, but I'm trying to double dip basically. If I have to do it, I'd rather do it more efficiently. That's just going to be a sell, to be honest. There's no reason for that to be useful. That was just some pieces I picked up and like from doing Ice Golem because we're still trying to do the fusion. Let's pick up some of these. Yeah, I mean, you can basically get the artifact enhancement event done and make a profit, basically. That's how a lot of players will do it sometimes. Like for me, I'm only doing it because I, can double dip. That's a pretty good piece. It's not so bad. And the flats, that's not good. We'll keep it though. It's okay. Some pieces I just keep because they're decent. But you can see, like, to be honest, it's very hard for my level of account to actually make a pure profit because I can't just raw sell bad pieces. I can't just go into my inventory and go, well, I got 30 pieces I don't even need to roll. All of the pieces that I get could be good if I need to roll them. Like, this is not so bad, right? Resistance is pretty good. I'm not rolling it to 16 because I don't have that much silver to play with. Avenging gear on defense can be useful, especially if it, like, quad rolls somewhere. It's not so good, but a decent defense accuracy piece sometimes can be cool. But you can see, like, I've already used like 2 million silver and I've not really been able to sell anything because I need to roll it to like 8 or 12 to determine whether it's good to sell or keep. This is probably going to be a sell. I don't think I'll keep this. No. We'll keep those pieces, not so bad. I'm a bit paranoid about it, to be honest, because I don't like people touching my account, basically. It's not so much that it's good gear, but it's like, I mean, let me just show you, right? So I'm not holding much life. And when I am holding life, we're talking triple roll. Triple roll. So we're not talking like average life gear here. That should be rolled. That's good. It is offense. Probably, it's borderline that one is, but I'd probably sell it. Well, this, is it not showing? Oh, do you know what? It does this all the time, doesn't it? Hang on a second, let me change the view. I need to change the title a sec. There we go. Bear with me a second. A bit too zoomed. There we go. And boom, 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 boom. Professional streamer at work. There we go. Professional streamer at work. Not. Yeah, so like the piece here, for example, you know, it's pretty solid. I'm not keeping bad gear. This triple, that's a triple roll. It's a triple roll. Like, you know, this, it's like, we're talking, it's either double rolls or triple roll. So the gear is not terrible. Triple roll. Double. Double, that one's not so good. That one would probably be close to a sell. Double roll speed. That one's not roll, but it should be. Some pieces get through the whole, like, just new filter. That one will be sold. So I can go through here and I can clear it out bit by bit, but I'm not, like, being able... I can't just go through my account and go, oh, I can sell that. I can sell that. Now, helms for me, I keep a little bit more because I have just poor helms with speed for some reason. But, like, these pieces here, it's a double roll. Sometimes could be useful. Triple roll. You know, double rolls. Speed with accuracy, not so great, but double roll. Triple roll. That one's not so good, but it's spread across. You know, triple roll. I know it's... That one, to be honest, is a bit of a weird one. Technically, I should sell it, but sometimes 23 flat raw is just fast enough to be in a speed gear. You might keep that. I'm actually saving the fusion for Friday. When I mean finishing the fusion, I mean getting all the rares. I still haven't finished Ice Golem and I still haven't finished Dungeon Diver, so we're going to do a bit of that tonight. But I'm actually going to pull it on Friday because we should have about an 8-hour window on Friday to get all of it completed. So I'm going to pull all the epics, get them all to rank 6, and then pull the legendary. It's like 1,500 points. But even like resistance gear, for example, only pieces I keep are something with resistance. That one, not so much. But you can see, I mean, that one should be sold. I could go through it and I'd probably find about 40 pieces. I'd keep that as a double resistance. double resistance, double resistance. So you can see what we're keeping here. Some pieces I'll keep if they're good high rolls. Fury I keep a decent set in case I need, and it's all damage stats. So it's actually quite difficult for me as an account to go through here and like religiously clear it out. If I was being brutal, I would. But again, look, like it's a triple roll. I'm not keeping particularly weak pieces unless I have very few of the set. Like Frenzy, for example, I have less pieces of, so I tend to keep a little bit weaker pieces. So they don't, Max. They don't normally do it, but they've let it happen. It's about an 8-hour window, so you can actually get full 1,500 points for Champion Chase. I mean, that's the thing with it, isn't it, Daniel? Like, if you use the Chaos Ore, you run the risk of, you know, it just not quite, it not quite working. I'm gonna just check this. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, so like Relentless, for example, I have a lot more Relentless because it's so hard to get some. You just kind of keep more of it. Savage. Again, these pieces are probably not terrible. We're talking triple rolls. Triple roll. So you can see, triple roll. I'm not keeping terrible gear. It's just, so I probably have, of this 12,091, I probably would say I'd have about 1,000 pieces where they're either double doubles or triple one or triple rolls. You know, these pieces here is picking the right stats. So for a defensive-based nuker, that's not terrible. Again, retaliation I don't have an awful lot of, so I'm keeping slightly less pieces because I need more of them. Same with reflex. Curing I have none of. Again, cruel, if we look at these, you'll find double rolls. Triple double, that's just if I need raw stats somewhere. Doubles. It's a bit insane. And I don't actually have the silver to take them up to 16 all the time to check if they actually become a keep. So I have to go to 12 and then see how we go. It doesn't help that they continuously add more sets as well. So we're getting Stone Skin. I've got all this bolster gear that I need to do something with as well. And now we're going to have Defiant come in. And Defiant is actually, in my opinion, the best Forge Pass set overall. So we're going to have to deal with that as well. So that is the state of my account. I do get through it bit by bit. I do get that inbox down every time. So it's not terrible. So yeah, so we're currently running Ice Golem. I've got a bit to go. It's really frustrating. We've got a bit to go yet. Trying to get to this number. So we're going to blast a bit out today. My Ice Golem team is really fast now. We've managed to optimize it. Yeah, we do need more space. The problem is if they add more space, it lags more. So that's the only problem. I'll see how fast this team is now. I've optimized my Ice Golem team down another 10 seconds or so. We're still a little bit sketchy on that wave one. I need like 5% more crit damage on my Seer. Then it's just like perfect. But it's fast. Yeah, exactly, Haldo. I'm double dipping. The Epic Void, the Orc. The Orc is Leburger. Leburger is a faction, is a demon. Doom Tower Epic. This can get a little sketchy if she gets like double crit, but as long as she doesn't get double crit, she's okay. Have they intentionally selected 2 factions at card speed farm stage 25 for these new tournaments? Which factions are we talking about here? I'm pretty sure I can speed farm all of them. 49 seconds, eh? Not bad. Yep, it's regen. So this one's Leburger. Leburger's quite good because she has a double buff. And then she's actually a pretty solid poisoner. So technically, if I could keep her alive, she could do some like usage with the poison. But I actually don't need her effects. She's kind of fitting that Archmage role. She's just a little bit faster in animations. She could probably go into a number of different other teams. Because she has both buffs here, and she does a lot of poisons, with her abilities and extends them on a passive, you could probably like do some weird stuff with her. But for the time being, I've just thrown her in here. Saf, do you know the resource that breaks down the speed in RS Hell? Okay, what are the breakpoints for lapping other champions? It's very complicated to explain. It's all dependent on the enemy and your turn. So for example, if an enemy's got 200 speed or 100 speed and you've got 200 speed, if there's just the two of you, then 201 would mean you'd go twice. But once you start introducing other champions into the mix, it affects the way that turn meter breakpoints work. So sometimes if you're trying to get a champion to go twice, it's not a case of doubling the enemy speed. It will depend on which other champion is forcing the breakpoints. I do have an Excel document that I use manually to work it out sometimes, but it's really quite complicated. You can kind of see it in a better way in the clan boss calculator for the Dead with Jedi has, where you can see the turn meters and where it fills and how it overrides it. But yeah, it's not a simple case of like 1 + 1 = 2. It's a lot more complicated than that. It almost leads, like I keep saying I'm going to do a dedicated video series on it at some point, but it's one of those things that I need to make sure I get the narration correct on it. Otherwise, people will get even more confused. Frozen Banshee's build is that. She's pretty safe. She's pretty safe at doing it. Do I have multiple Banshees built? No, just the one. Yeah, exactly, Dan. It just requires a bit of a video series. It just needs, like, there's probably 3 parts. You've got to first explain how speed works with turn meter and how it calculates. Then you've got to explain what it means by speed divisions in terms of tick rates and stuff like that. Then, like, how you deal with tiebreakers, and then how the opponent's speed can affect yours. There's lots of things like in the arena calculator, if you use Dead with Jedi site, you'll notice that sometimes when you put a third champion in, the second champion needs more speed, because it's how you ensure that all 3 champions go before the opponent and different things. I think of it as a 100-meter sprint where the one that is the furthest past the finish line goes and starts again at the start point, and then you continue until someone is past the finish line again. Yeah, it's a bit like that. I wonder if I've got the tick rate calculator here, actually. Let's see if I can find it. I can show you briefly something I've been working on the side a little bit. So you can see here, this is kind of like a rough tick rate calculator. So I was using this as an arena calculator just to see the different speeds. So you can kind of see how tick rates are calculated and how it kind of pushes. So we can see if we want to go Morrigan, Doomscreech, Ceres, Morrigan, then we need certain speeds. We need to be at 392. If we go to 391, then Arbiter cuts in, it moves it around. So you can see how the tiebreakers kind of work. So Morrigan goes first because she got there first. Then Doomscreech is going to come in next. Then Ceres, then Arbiter, because we took out some speed because of Morrigan. And then you can convert it into tick rate. So the math is quite heavy to work all this out. You can see like the formulas alone. Like, I don't know if I can zoom in. Like, you can see the formula alone is really complicated to explain. So yeah, a video series on it would be pretty good. At one point, I think we will end up adding into the optimizer an ability to just like pick a team in the team optimizer, click a button that says ensure my team goes first, and it will automatically calculate the speeds you need. That would be quite cool, I think. But yeah, I have one for like I was working on different things like Hydra and different things to make sure you start in right for different champions. So you can see, so here's a good example of where this is in Fire Knight, I think it is. It's or Dragon, one of the two, where I was trying to work out how to make sure one of my champions goes first. So you can see I've got different speed set up. We've got Allure coming down the left, Ghostborn, Renegade, Ruel, Coldheart, Allure, Ghostborn, Ruel, Renegade, Allure, right? So Errol is being basically capped twice. Ruel is going to go here. We do different things like add in turn meter and different things like that, but what I'm basically saying is Allure doesn't need to be double the speed of Errol. Errol is currently at 99. She's at 309. So she can't, if you think about the straight way you would do it, is go, well, if I want to go 3 times, I just need 3 times as much speed. Well, that's not going to be the case, because Allure can only go, she does go 3 times here, but if I was to do it exactly 3 times, was it 99? 99 plus 99 plus 99 is basic math. Come on, calculator, catch up to me. 297. If I put her at 297, she won't go before Errol. Even though she's got 3 times as many. Even if I go 298. Well, she does just about go there. Okay, that's interesting, because she shouldn't. Maybe it's just a combination of all these. But you can see how it changes depending on speed. Like, if I go and put my Renegade at 200, the whole thing changes. Even though she's only losing 7 speed, if I put it at 200, you can see how all the team changes down the bottom here. And it's just the way that breakpoints work and then how other champions interact. So it's very complicated to explain on just like 5 minutes. You can see there, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think a video series on it will be quite good. I do agree. Thanks, Elliot. I appreciate it. I'm glad the content is enjoyable. Did anyone catch today's video? The good old Boltsmith, the beast of the dwarven race, I guess. I don't know. I mean, his gear is nuts. I'm not going to say that his gear isn't nuts, but yeah, Daniel. And also, when you start thinking about auras, it gets even more complicated, because now champions that have different base speeds will have different benefits of the aura. Then you add the blessings on top. Then you add things like the new blessings for like decreasing speed. There's lots of things to be, you know, to be taken into consideration. Extra 10 million. It's worth a watch, Elliot, just to see the damage increase. I've actually added another 146 attack now because I put the Faction Guardian in. So he's now at 6.686. We could probably round it up to 6.7 if I put some more attack somewhere. I'm sure I can add a bit more attack. That's pretty high end. Can I get more attack somewhere? What's this at? 4%. Let's go through. Oh, come on. Don't be mean. 23. Speed rounding can have an issue as well. It doesn't round in game. It shows rounded, but it doesn't always. Technically, speed set doesn't give you 12% speed. It gives you 0.119999969 or something like that. It's very, very, very close to 12%, but not quite 12%. We need 8 attack from somewhere. Let's go here. There we go. Set 6,721. Not bad, eh? Should go beat up something in Doom Tower with it. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things that I probably will never ever use this champion for anything other than clan boss, I guess. But it's still quite funny to see how much actual raw power I can build in this champion. Just through the blessings alone. So we can basically get a little bit of provoke out. Boost ourselves. So it's got like, you know, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, increased attack, pretty much every buff under the sun. And we can just pick on, I don't know, miscreated monster and take him out for 170,000 damage. I mean, it's utterly pointless, but it's still funny nonetheless, right? I mean, it's kind of cool to watch a rare dwarf just absolutely one-shot something. And the nice thing is he can keep those buffs up all the time. So effectively, he's just a bit of a monster, really. Now, don't feel bad. Like, the example I used it was because I happen to have a 6-star perfect soul for him. Just so happens he's actually a solid champion. Like, this will one-shot that. Nearly one-shotted it for a dwarf. Like, it's not like you'd ever use him in any particular case. It's just that I happen to have a 6-star perfect soul, and I thought it would be a good video to kind of demonstrate how crazy strong blessings are. Like, I did see someone say, you know, oh, well, you only showed off a clan boss team. The gear is really good. It doesn't really show how blessings can make an impact. But if I was able to improve this guy by 30%, then a weaker build also increases by 30%. So if we think of how empowerment works, if I have like a +3 Abyss as an example, well, she probably does more damage than the S tier nukers now because of the raw damage she gets. And that's the same thing with blessings, the way to think about it. If you happen to get a 6-star blessed damage dealer, like a Phoenix, then probably he just becomes your best damage dealer because of the power of the blessing. That's kind of what I want to show. What would be your demon spawn speed for finite? Let's have a look. Right, so that's my demon spawn at the moment. So actually, let's do that now, shall we? I wasn't planning on doing it, but let's do that now. Let's build a demon spawn team for tomorrow. Demon spawn. Is that demon spawn? No. Where is demon spawn? Here. That's demon spawn. So we got Kutraxa, Allure. Just need somebody to kill the wave. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. Now we could do Hound spawn. We could just do Candrathon. We could bomb it. If the build had less attack crit damage, then the increase would be relatively bigger. Well, I suppose the less attack you have, the more raw damage. The thing about blessings are, Dutchy, which I think is a good point to make, the actual gain on the blessing isn't based on percentage. Empowerment, you get a percentage of your base stat, right? So if your champion, like someone like Brogni, has a particularly low base attack, then empowering a Brogni doesn't yield as much benefit, whereas the blessing is just raw stat. You get 500 for a Brogni or 300 for a rare, so you actually get quite a lot of extra stat there, and you benefit more the weaker the base attack is. So yeah, I mean, potentially it'd be relatively bigger. It's always difficult to know. The good thing in that test was effectively everyone was... the team was the same team on the same difficulty and the same setup. Nothing changed. I didn't change his gear. I didn't change anything. It was almost like a 1-to-1 comparison. So 30% increase will be roughly what you'd expect on weaker builds in that scenario. Hey Saf, the optimizer suggests me a very sus team for Spider 25, Theodore and Cold Heart around 200 speed, and it's 11-second run. What am I missing? That sounds about right. Cold Heart for... he's probably activating HP burn somewhere, surely. Unless something's missing. Could be a bug, I guess. It's hard to know. Who is better for Clan Boss, Frozen Banshee or the new Epic Ornn? I would say depends on whether you have Counterattack, Volodymyr. If you have Counterattack, Banshee. If not, Ornn. Can Yannicka be helpful in Hydra? Yeah, her shield actually works on the life barrier, so you can get bonus damage on life barrier. So yeah, it does work. Yeah, exactly, Dutchy. Because it's a flat stat attack gain, the less attack you have, the more valuable the extra attack you get is from the blessing. So yes, I know what you're saying and I agree. So we got the plenty of turn meter, I think. I don't think my Magnar's built, I'll be honest. So really, it's just about whether we can kill the wave. Which we could just try and brute force it. With bombs and... like, we've always got Hound Spawn, right? I think I only need the 1 turn meter boost here. I kind of like the idea of him for the boss killing. But we'd need to bring another... do this a second. I just want to remember how Hound Spawn's nuke works. So we'd need Freeze. Oh, we'd need Hellfang. Yeah, so we'd have to bring Hellfang as well for that. I wonder how strong this could be. It's 100% ignore defense. So we freeze and we AoE nuke. I mean, I'd have to build them up. Lord Shazar could be good for boss killing, but I don't know if I can fit him in with Urtikata. We'd have to bring that. And his freeze is not ideal. It's not consistent. It's a pretty good chance, like 75%, but it's not perfect. Hound's one is negative affinity, is it? I can't remember what affinity one here. One... Spirit. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. So Hound spawns out. I think this core is good. Let me get the right allure in here. It's the damage dealers that'll be fun. Magnar seems like an obvious choice, but I don't think I have him built. We could go for a bit of a defensive-based nuker. You know, we could go for a Marquess and try and crush the weak on a 3-turn cooldown. That hits pretty hard. It's not going to be crazy damage, but it does hit hard. We also kind of need a decreased defense and weaken in here somewhere. Now, we could bring Countess Lix. She does have a weaken A1, which is not ideal. But she does have a decreased speed, so she could control the speed a bit. I think Tarshon is an AoE weaken as well. Yes, we could bring Tarshon. He's got an increased defense buff as well. So we could bring that with this. Is she still built? I have no idea which one of my champions are built. Relatively. Do we know the rewards yet? No, we haven't got a clue. As always. Yeah, it's not so much the gear. I don't even think I've got masteries on my Magnar. That's the only problem. That's the only problem that I don't have here. We could run an E3 for, like, provokes. We could just run Candy. The only thing I don't have here is decreased defense in any sort of realistic sense. So I kind of need an AoE decreased defense champion. We could run him. He'd be quite good. Let's just try and manual this team, shall we? Is Tarshon built to start with? Tarshon is relatively built. Allure is built. You're relatively weak. You haven't got any damage. Let's just try this for a second. Let's just see how this works. No AI. We're just going to manual it just to see kind of like whether the damage is good enough. Where is my team gone? Here. Waste a bit of energy. Do this. The defense numbers are going to be the problem here. We just don't really seem... I don't think we're going to have the... Now, the only problem here is we kind of need increased defense out before we can nuke. But we also need weaken out in order to get her double hit. And that's the problem. I just don't think there's enough damage here. So killing the waves is going to be hard. But I'll be honest. Doing this at level 25 is actually quite pointless. Because most of these special tournaments, you run at stage 16. There you go. So actually, you'd probably run it at stage 16. Because to be honest... It's going to be easier to kill the waves, and it'll be just much faster, right? So what do we got? Void here. So we don't need as much damage now, so we can pick a little bit more flexible. We can say, right, well, we still want Gomlock, because Gomlock is an AoE decreased defense, right? So he's pretty solid. We're going to keep Gomlock. Where is he? I'm going to get rid of these two. And we are just going to bring raw damage, which is probably going to be in the form of... Lord no, Candraphon, and then we're going to bring you. So, this is just easier to run, I think. Do that. Kill wave. Easy. We probably don't even need decreased defense as an AoE. We could probably get away with a single target. We probably need it here. Just to like take out someone. Actually, probably can auto this better by having him use his A2, A3 there. And this should be fairly easy, right? Because we've got double hit. Double hit there. He can just go into his shell. We don't need it because we're going to quad hit. And we should be good, right? I mean, if we just auto this. No, because you need the Hellfang to make the Hound Spawn work, and Hound Spawn is also weak affinity. That's the problem with that setup. But like, if I just optimize this AI now, right? So, yeah, I know. Go away. We basically want to go. We're going to say open with that. We just never want to use this ability. Never want to use that ability. Never want to use that ability. All right, so we're going to open with that. Then it should go Duchess, who's going to open with this. We never want to use it again. And then we never want to use that again. And we want to open with that. Gomlock, we don't want him to use anything here. And then Wave 1 we want to open but not use. Just say don't use that either. And then here we want him to open with this. And then first choice that. So it should go Allure into Duchess into Candy. And Candy we're just going to say open but don't use that. And don't use this. Here we're going to open with this but not use that. And then on the boss, you can just use whatever, I guess. Let's see how that works on auto. Hey, YST. YST is in the house, guys. Like, ideally, we want this to be no more than a minute run. Maybe even less, ideally. If we can get it to like 45 seconds, it's probably good. I potentially could just drop Duchess altogether. I don't think I need the extra increase attack. Just to speed up wave 2. Give us another AoE option. Actually doesn't really add any value, to be honest. Because you can just one-shot the waves on his own. We can actually open with his A2, not his A1, because the shield's already down. Hey, Yanis, how you doing? Oh, if only I had Kaima. I don't have Kaima. Come on now. So that's solid. I think I can probably take out Duchess, and we can bring more damage. The tip with all these, like, special tournaments is just stage 16. It does more damage. It's easier. You can get through the waves quicker. You can get it done quicker. It's not that much of a drop off in terms of tournament points. In terms of raw damage, probably just like him, honestly. How fast is he? 187. So we're going to go Allure A2 into probably that. Let's just say don't use. His choice. Open and let's see how that goes. Yeah, you can Magnar it. I just don't have him. I don't have masteries on him. Is 20 still better than 16 in terms of energy points? I don't think it's much difference. 20 will obviously give you a lot more better gear. But to be honest, you can see this is much faster already without having Duchess, and she was just slowing it down. How do you recommend building Richthof Ice Golem 24? You need him in regen. You need pretty high gear on Richthoff. You probably want to have the right mastery setup. If you head over to hellhades.com, you will find there's a mastery setup for Richthoff, for solo and dragon. Just replicate that build. Well, you want to run stage 20 for gear normally, but for these special tournaments, it's fine to run stage 16, except for Spider, where you run Spider 10. Just because I think, you know, the points requirements are normally 2100. Still a bit slow. It's quicker. I don't think Mortu is as good. Really, I should just use Magnar, but I just don't think I have him built or even booked. Let's have a look. Where is Magnar? He's in gear of some sort. I don't know what gear he's in. Dungeon Divers. Either stage 16 or 20. Stage 25 and 24 is actually quite bad for tournament and events because it's more energy. Is he even booked? Well, he's booked at least. Not his A3, but his A2 is booked. I don't know what gear he's in. He's in a terrible build. Just eyeball some better gear here. He's probably just sitting on some gear that I don't need. Ugh. See, this is what I said. My gear is good. I just have gear sitting around that you never know when you need. Except for the obvious challenge here, which is going to be crit damage gloves with crit rate and speed. It's always a pain in the backside to get. I don't have as many options here. Do I even have a Savage built one? I do have this piece. I was just chilling away. We could run that. We don't necessarily have to run in Savage Cruel, I guess. It would help. I prefer to run in Savage Cruel or Lethal. But my Lethal gloves are kind of taken up a little bit at the moment. I suppose we could strip Cupidus, because Cupidus actually needs to go into Stone Skin. Let's just take that away. We kind of want speed, HP, and crit percentage and lethal. Obviously, I could use the optimizer, guys. I know I can. I'm just an idiot. I'm doing it quickly. Speed, HP, crit rate. Good. Wear that piece. Crit rate, speed. How much crit rate do I need now? I'm nearly there. Right. How much more do I need? 90%. So I need 15% crit rate. So I need a double roll here. Speed would be nice. We're going to have to drop HP percentage for a lethal piece. No, you always want crit rate damage gloves. Crit damage gloves is stronger. Did you make a mistake 6-star Richthoff over Venomage for Ice Golem? No, I don't think so. Obviously, Venomage has the inbuilt survivability, but Richthoff is just as good. The only thing with Richthoff is he does hit more often, which can be a problem. We got defense percentage. Oh, that'll be doing it. What do we got banners wise? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. How am I all... Oh, because of course lethal gives crit rate, doesn't it? I was like, how am I over the crit rate? I forget lethal gives crit rate. So we don't need as much crit rate. We can drop 5%. We still need 5%. Unless we haven't done masteries yet. We have done masteries, so we just need to lose 5% crit rate somewhere. Speed, HP percent, crit rate. Where is the lethal gear there? That's not ideal, is it? I mean, it's defense percentage. We lose like a little bit of HP to try and save crit rate. Maybe we can find it in the helm because we don't need as much. We can afford to drop 15%. We still need a little bit. That's the problem. We still need a little bit crit rate. That's probably better. I know we lose a bit of flat start HP there, but it'll do. Oh, we're still at 9%. Maybe we can just lose the crit rate altogether. Speed, HP percentage. Wow, maybe no speed? Wow, okay. I just have no lethal helms, apparently. There we go, loads more here. What do we got? Crit damage, defense. We lose a chunk of speed, though. Magnar. Cupidus, what is he sitting on? We'd lose too much speed. I had to do. We're overcapped on crit rate a little bit, but we eyeballed the build, so you know we can't afford to lose the 11% crit rate here, so we'd still have to run it. We could potentially have less crit rate on the weapon. Maybe we can just get some HP percentage and speed. Yeah, so we need a little bit of the crit rate. And we're not taking from them, so we'll leave it as it is. We know nothing about the rewards, no. We have no idea what the rewards are going to be. Could be absolutely anything. Could be good, could be bad. It's probably going to be rubbish, but hey, we're here. We're testing it. Last test now, because I can't afford to waste any more energy on this when I got to still do Ice Golem. Let's take out you. Let's bring in dear old Magnar. So how fast is Magnar? He's at 197. So he should go. Like, ideally, Gomlock would be faster than a lot of these. Ideally. So we're just going to not let him use that or that. He can use that if he wants. I'll go first choice that, and then just open with that or something. See how that goes. Oh, Darkface, so good. It's the one boss I really want more of. I don't have a Fellhound built, though. That's the thing. I'm not building a champion just for a rubbish tournament. There you go, did a job. If I had Kaima, I could do this in like 20 seconds. I just don't have Kaima, which is the brutal, like it's the brutal reality of my account. I just don't have the champions that most people are going to be speedrunning this with. Hey, what are your thoughts about the Void guaranteed? Nia, I am all in on Nia. I am all in on... I'm going to be doing a video for it to explain why I am all in on Nia, but I am all in. It's like, it's better than a Void legendary for me. I think she is just insane. Yeah, it is. For Fire Night tomorrow. There you go. 48 seconds. That's good enough. That will be my team that I'll run tomorrow. I could optimize it further. Gorlots, if I could get him higher in speed. But you can see I'm still getting 6-star epic pieces at stage 16. Actually a solid piece of that triple roll speed, believe it or not. So that'll be my team for tomorrow. My FK is tomorrow, isn't it? Have they just given us a really early start in tournament? No, that's a sell. I thought it started tomorrow. Why have they started that so early? Oh my god. I thought it started tomorrow because they gave it a warm-up. You know, we've had more in-game promotion for these tournaments than we had for the entire Telerian Trials. What does that tell you? It's funny, right? No, I don't think Dwedan is worth it. I wouldn't go for Dwedan. I'd go for Nia. Nia's amazing. Like, the problem you got with Dwedan is this is a 4-turn cooldown. So this increase the duration of all buffs by 1 turn is not going to be useful in Clan Boss. Because it's a 4-turn cooldown, not a 3, where you need someone like Godseeker Neri, which is a 3. Sandlash is a 3. Anchorite is a 3. The cooldown kind of kills this ability. The shield is nice, but there's plenty of other shield champions out there, right? The taunt is cool, but it's only for 1 turn on a 3-turn cooldown. I like the interaction with his A1 to try and remove buffs. It could be quite good in arena. If you can protect this counterattack with the taunt, then he could be good. I just don't think he's like... I wouldn't sit here and go, I really want this champion, because I think he has a very niche scenario where you could run a counterattack cleanser. But this is just such... The awkward thing is this being a 4-turn cooldown means you can't run him in clan boss. These being self buffs, like the taunt is good for clan boss, but trying to activate it, you can't rely on this removal for clan boss. So there's lots of different things, but I just don't think he's as good. Where Nia... I don't even need to tell you how broken this ability is. Is Duet invaluable for the faction wars? You're probably not going to run him. I guarantee you, White Dryad Nia will find her way into the Platinum meta. I think she's that strong. Because you can put a bolster or regen set on her, and with a high base HP of 20,000, she's going to heal everyone by 20% of the heal every time she heals, right? So if you imagine... Say like I run, I don't know. Take this guy here, right? This is roughly going to be how much HP you can scale on her, because he's not that far off. You're going to be talking 70,000, right? Bolster, big shield at the start, 10% heal. So she's going to heal herself 7,000, give or take, every time she takes a turn, and everyone in your team is going to get 20% of that. So basically, it means every time White Dryad Nia takes a turn, she's healing your entire team for 1,400 health. And then if you pair that with a mastery, say, where is it? Shadow Heal. Every time she heals 6%. Okay, now you've just given 2% of this 6% heal. Cool, that's another 800 heal to everyone. So she can constantly keep healing your team, let alone the fact she can reset a target's skills. So if you put her in Hydra... with your enemy max HPs, she can just keep resetting the enemy max HPs. If you're in a bit of a bind and you need to do an enemy max HP, no problem. She'll just cleanse it. Boom. She full cleanses the ally, heals them by 40%, and then resets their cooldowns by 2 turns. She is insane. Not to mention, you also get ally protection on a 3-turn cooldown, and you get an AoE decrease speed, which is insane for Hydra. It's on it like what, 50% chance? This champion is This champion is like basically a legendary champion in my opinion. She's that good. If this champion came out as a legendary, not a legendary void, but a normal non-void legendary, I would say she's a legendary champion. She's like the Mytha. There's nothing like you can run her in clan boss, you can as an ally protector or as a cooldown reduction, run her in Hydra, you can run her in arena, she can reset Yumiko, Yumiko can reset her. She will make Yumiko's A3 a 3-turn cooldown. A 3-turn cooldown, effectively. Like, this champion, out of all of these champions, is the one that I want more than anything else. Ruella's the other one, but this one more than anything. I was hoping I'd pull her on the weekend, because the amount of content ideas I have for White Dryad Nia is insane. What about if we try and reset the cooldown of Seeker in Clan Boss all the time? What if we try to reset the cooldown of Deacon? What if we reset the cooldown of someone else who can reset the cooldown that works? The options are limitless. Plus this healing, I think this passive is going to go under the radar. It's really strong. Anytime she's healed, no cooldown, everyone gets 20%. She can reset the cooldown on Jintoro. More A3s. If you can get an extra A3 Jintoro 5-hitter, that's 1.3 million damage at my team. Now, obviously, trying to fit her into a speed tune will be the challenge, because the only thing I would say is she kind of suggests she wants to be a traditional clan boss champion because of this ally protection, but you can just disable that and just run this ability on a 3-turn cooldown with that as an A1 and just do more damage. How does the targeting work? So in a neutral setting, she will always target team order. This is how single target abilities work, right? The other champion that I always compare this to is a Sacred Order champion, if I can scroll, which is Lodric. So this guy has a single target ally protection. He will always protect the leader. And if he's the leader, it'll be position 1. And it's the same thing with White Dryad Nia. If you're in a neutral setting, by neutral I mean there are no debuffs out and everyone is on full HP, she will always target the leader with this ability. So she will work much better in a block damage team than she will work in an unkillable team, because she's probably going to go all over the place in unkillable because she's going to want to try and heal the target. Whereas in a block damage team, everyone's at full HP. So that's something to keep in mind. There are other cooldown resetters, but most of them are locked in some way, right? So obviously Yumiko is a Void Legendary. Kaimar can't be reset. She can have this reset. The other thing to note about this, cooldown. Let's look at the other champions that can do this, right? So we've got Demon Spawn. We have Countess Lix. Countess Lix on a 5-turn cooldown can reduce the cooldown of all allies by 1 turn. It's a 5-turn cooldown. If we look at Renegade, the one that most people use, if you don't have a Kaimar, on a 5-turn cooldown, she can do what Renegade does, what Nia does to all allies, 2 turns. But it's a 5-turn cooldown. Kaimar, I think, is a 6-turn cooldown on this ability. 6-turn cooldowns. Then you've got Yumiko. Yumiko is a 5-turn cooldown. So the difference with her more than anything else is it's the first one that can reduce skills on a 3-turn cooldown. She can also reset Yumiko. Yumiko can reset her. So the reason why I'm saying it's so strong is because if you have the two of them together, she will reset Yumiko, Yumiko will reset her, vice versa, and infinitely. So you end up converting the Yumiko from a 5-turn cooldown to essentially a 3-turn cooldown. That's where it gets nutty. That's why that ability is more special than anything else, is because of its cooldown and the fact it will do 2 turns every 3 turns. So even in places like Hydra, for example, well, we're going to be running some Hydra tonight. You'll see, like, kind of like where you would want to use it, because you'd want to go, oh, well, I'd really love to be able to reset my enemy max HPs. Maybe I want to reset Geomancer. Maybe I want to reset Mighty Uko because I need to cleanse. Maybe I want to reset something. Like, you've got so many limitless options, but it's also the fact she's paired with so, like, really good other abilities. The passive healing, ally protection, AoE decreased speed. It's not like that's the only thing she can do. She can do everything else as well, which is equally as good. Could you make a team with Renegade and her to make it for Doomtail House, you think? Yeah. I don't know if Renegade can be reset. Let me check that quickly. Some champions can't be reset. We'll just load this up. She's going to be nuts with any champion that you really want the skills up again, right? So if you imagine in Iron Twins, you get your decreased speed. Okay, it's not 100%, but you get a decreased speed. You get ally protection with a strengthen. It's not big boy strengthen, but it's good strengthen. And now you can reset Geo every time the boss resets his stuff. Oh, damn, I need the burnout. Reset Geo, off we go. You need healing. She passively heals. You could put her in a regen set. Passively heals. Guardian set. Passively heals. You see, like that's where this becomes really strong. It'll keep your team ticking over very nicely. It's a bit like a Doom Priest passive. Alright, let me just check Renegade. Can she be reset? Could she be the new budget unkillable? I think she's got a lot of flexibility in Clan Boss. I think it will need to go towards block damage and unkillable, but I think she can be used in traditional teams as well. She'll just obviously, like, once you start hitting the bit where people start taking HP, will she keep targeting the leader? We ran a lot of tests on the test server with Hellhades because it was one of the things I wanted to actually test, and he said it worked pretty reliably. Yeah, you can't reset Renegade, so she can't reset Renegade. I think it's only Yumiko and Countess Lix and Painkeeper. Painkeeper's the other one, and if we look at Painkeeper's time cooldowns, it's a 4-turn cooldown. Painkeeper's a little bit better, 4-turn cooldown. But I think Painkeeper and Countess Lix can be reset, Yumiko can be reset, and Nia can be reset. Kaimar and Renegade can't be reset. So I am all in on Nia. I think I'm... Before I even looked at the shard count, I was like, I'm getting it. Because I think it's just so strong. Like, the flexibility in different content ideas can be crazy. Right, we need to run more of this. We probably need to run at least like 10 more runs. At least. We might even need to run more. So we can do questions whilst this is running. I got 14 Princess Kate's... Not Princess? Pathfinder. I don't know why I said Princess then. I got 14 Pathfinder Kates ready to go. I need the two, one from Ice Golem and one from Dungeon Diver, so I can skip the Artifact Enhancement event. Thankfully, I managed to pull one. I can't really get this team any faster now. It's really frustrating. I was trying to get it under like 45 seconds. Am I keeping on? I can't keep it on, unfortunately. I don't have a spare. You can't keep one of this fusion. You're running stage 16, correct. For Demon Spawn, yeah, I run stage 16. This I'm running stage 25 because I always run stage 25 for content. I'll be fusing mine for Champion Jace. Because we're going quite easy this clan versus clan because it's not personal. What's the best way to build Theodore for solo content? I'm not too experienced on Theodore, whether he needs regen or not, but I think he might. But I'm sure there's loads of content videos out there of people who've managed to get Theodore. I have not, unfortunately. That will have more ideas about how to build him. Hey Saf, do you know if Protection Set has 30% or 45% chance to proc when it's a 6-piece? It's 30%. It's 15 plus 15, so at 6 it's 30%. I know it's misleading, but yeah, you don't get 45, unfortunately. No, I'm not going to go for Druidon. I'm not going to summon tomorrow for the epic. I actually don't think he's that good. I don't think Taunt is big enough an issue right now to warrant it being only on 2 champions. Like, maybe the legendary with the 2-turn is pretty good, but even then the rest of his kit's a bit weak. Could Dark Hail do this in IG? I think so. The only thing I would say with Dark Hail is he benefits better with Kaimar because he needs poisons fed to him. Now, it's nice that he targets the boss, which is cool, and he will make it safer because as long as there's I think a poison on the boss, the boss can't crit, which is normally where it fails. The issue with Dark Hail is he can't really pump out as many poisons as as Banshee here. So he kind of needs someone like Kaimar. Kaimar's pretty good with him because he A1 feeds the poison, which is nice. That's why you see whenever you look in the optimizer, you'll find really fast teams with Dark Hail, but he's often paired with a Kaimar. He's not often paired with anyone else. Wondering what ideas y'all thought through for getting optimized on mobile. So, oh wow, that's the first time that's ever happened. I've never seen that happen. That is really unlucky. I've managed to pull just at the time he activates his passive somehow. Oh well, that happens. So getting the optimizer on mobile is possible. The only thing is it would require us to jailbreak your devices, and that's not something we would really recommend you do. So that's why we don't plan on it, but because effectively we'd have to access another application in your device, which is generally something that iOS and Android don't like you doing, because they think you're trying to hack a different app, and that's always going to be negatively received. So we would have to have a jailbroken device, and that's just not something we would ever recommend to anyone. Yeah, Daniel, exactly. So in terms of the champions that can reduce their own cooldowns, Yumiko can be reduced, Nia can be reduced, Countess Lix can be reduced, and Painkeeper, I think, can be reduced. I'm not sure about Painkeeper. Let me check Painkeepers as well. I know for sure Renegade and Kaimar cannot. Their abilities cannot be reduced. There's basically a variable within the code that kind of tells me whether it can or can't. It's called Reduce Skills Prohibited. If that's enabled, it doesn't work. Yeah, so Painkeeper can be reduced. I forgot to click Use Gems, didn't I? Sell. 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 Oh, the joys of doing Ice Golem where you basically earn no money. Probably need 10 at least. Use gems. Yeah, I'll show my Banshee after this. Yeah, Renesh. So, it's not that he's bad. It's just that because they've set his A2 as a 4-turn cooldown, it disqualifies him from a lot of clan boss content because he needs to be on a 3-turn cooldown for a lot of teams. So that extension being on a 4-turn cooldown is a real problem. And then the fact that his A1 isn't guaranteed is another problem because he can't be used as like a cleanser in clan boss. What he would be really good for is if you can sustain the counterattack set, then you can use him as like a cleanser because he'll constantly cleanse debuffs. That could be quite good. But I do think he's not that. I don't think he's that good because of the problems with his A2. I've messed this up now because of that rotation too. Might still be okay. No, we're going to fail this run again because we 3%ed the defense debuff removal. Maybe she can tank it through. We'll see. Yeah, so that's why I don't think Dwedden is as good, because of his cooldown on the A2 kind of ruins his kit a little bit. It's the same thing with like people like Marksman, right? Marksman would be a great champion in the clan boss, except he has that chance on the A1 to grant an extra turn. It's really frustrating. Banshee, why aren't you using your A3? Honestly, the AI here is dumb and I can't intercede because I'm on auto. Like, why isn't she using her A3? What is she doing? What is she doing, like? I don't want to lose 40 energy because of this stupidity, because I can't control it from... But this is going to take forever. God's sake. Stupid. Stupid. Well, I took her off automatically doing A2, right? Because she wasn't... she was overdoing the A3. So I took her off requiring her to do the A3 because she was doing it naturally. But for some reason on the ally, she doesn't want to do it. We only lost that because I didn't 3%. I 3% removed the decreased defense. That's why it failed. Which meant that the AI here all went a bit funky because of the way it's set up. It's what it's meant to do. It's not perfect, I guess. I still need to refine it, but it works pretty well once it works. I just need a little bit more crit damage on my Seer. A little bit more, but it's really hard because my Seer is really high end. Is Cryptkin Graal just a Lego version of Achak? Cryptkin Graal is amazing. He's actually a hard carry, whereas Achak isn't, because he brings obviously more reliable burn and freeze, where Achak is more conditional. But he's actually really strong, Graal. I think she does. I don't know what blessing. Oh, come on. See, that's where my 5% more crit damage needs to come from. Luckily, it's not too much of a problem. Boom. Nice. Boom. Kill. Beautiful. Well, Hirschen, I was trying to save time because what I was realizing, she was A3ing over placing poisons. That's why I turned it off. But yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've ever seen her do that. So, it's the last time at times 2 sacreds I rage fed Elagaius. Please tell me what. Elagaius is really good for Faction Wars. That was his MVP area. Whether he still is anymore, I don't know, but that's where my Elagaius 3-starred for me, where I couldn't before. Oh, we're getting closer. Not quite enough for that. I need more soul stones for that. So it's going to eat into my gem poison and my gem pots. Would you suggest having a Jintora in a non-unkillable team or wait till I get an unkillable team? He's kind of the king of unkillable. He's okay. Like, if you just need debuffs in Clan Boss, he's like, nobody can, like, he's as good as Draco, right? He just doesn't have the poisons. He's better in unkillable because you want to run attack. But if you just need debuffs out, he's pretty good, pretty reliable. Yeah, so one other way we can do it, Dander, is basically have it so that instead of the device access in the game, we basically have a server that can basically you log in via the server to access the game to upload. It would work on mobile, but it's kind of awkward still because the website isn't mobile friendly, so its uses might be difficult. What's your thoughts on the guaranteed champs? Nia is 100% worth. Dwedan is probably not. That's my thoughts. Nia, for me, is probably the best champion out of all the new faction by quite a margin. Would 2 Nia's passive cause a chain reaction to heal Team Whites? I would imagine Nia heals one, the other heals the other. I'd imagine the secondary effect of Nia can't heal the other one. Let me check. Let me see what the code says. Yeah, the cat woke up. She's eating. So, yeah, it'll lock itself out, right? So the heal requires the owner to be the related effect target, right? So you can't have I don't think it'll work where Nia heals it, otherwise you'll have an infinite chain. I think the heal has to be direct upon Nia. So like a bolster set, activating on herself, she is the owner of that related effect, so it'll work. But I don't think Nia healing a Nia will cause the other Nia to heal the Nia that just got healed. Otherwise you'd end up in an infinite loop and it would cause a bug. It would basically crash the game because you would never stop healing each other. Because effectively you would go Nia heals Nia 2, Nia 2 then heals Nia 1 back because Nia 2 got a heal, and then Nia 1 is going to heal Nia 2 again because Nia 1 healed Nia 2 and Nia 2 healed Nia 1. You see what I mean? You will end up in an infinite world where you just never get anything done. I mean, one thing about Jintora is you can run in with less damage purely because his A3 is so bonkers. Like my Jintora is full damage on a 3-1 speed, so he's really fast. And his A3, which is probably not as... Like, I probably can get more damage on him if I ran him slower. His A3 is like 1.4 million damage. So if you ran him in a more traditional team, you can still get lots of damage out of him. And he will give that debuff. He does run better in a 3-1 team because you get lots more opportunities for the A3. Like, even running a lot less damage in a 3-1 is better than 2-1 with Jintoro. It pains me to have to burn so much gems for this nonsense. But there we go. Yeah, I'll show my Frozen Banshee build after this run now. Does anybody know if Mithrala applies Hex on enemies and then they put block debuffs, will the Petrification proc? The Petrification doesn't proc if you have block debuffs on whilst hexed by Mithrala. The block debuffs will stop the Petrification effect. I've been buying tier 2s better, but I am close to a tier 3. I think I need one more tier 2 to get 300 coins, which will get me close to enough coins to get a tier 3, so... Well, actually 1500 turn limit I think is probably just the battle engine's ability to process requests. So what you got to remember is when you're running the battle engine, the battles remember in every interaction your champions have ever done. When we get a battle report out for the battle results for like team suggestions, it gives us all the details like what champion used which skill, how much damage did it do, what effects did they have, which one did they target, what did the enemy do, when did the enemy die, did the enemy crit. All of these things are logged, so it probably means the 1500 limit is put in place because the game engine can't handle many more bits of data, for a better word. Do I have Frozen Banshee lifesteal? Oh, I was meant to show it. Sorry, no, she's in regen. I'll show you the build after this now. I think I legitimately think you will see Yumiko, Nia, Kaimar potentially as a team in Arena. Potentially. Or just Yumiko, Nia together. I think that's a potential team because you can put Nia in bolster, so you get the shield effect still. And I think it could be literally impossible to do anything. As long as you don't die from the A1s, like think about Ultimate Death Knight, White Dryad Nia, Yumiko, and a fourth. How are you ever killing anyone? Like put a Wither on there. How are you ever killing anyone? Because Yumiko is just going to permanently keep cycling skills. Oh, look, you put a debuff on me. Don't worry. Yumiko just reset with it. Cool. Oh, look, Nia's just reset Yumiko. Oh, look, Yumiko just reset with it. Like, I cannot I think that team is actually quite nasty. With it, Ultimate Death Knight, Nia, Yumiko. The only thing that can stop it is if you go faster than it and you can one-shot it, which is where Reaction and Bolster comes in. You run a Shield or Stone Skin Ultimate Death Knight, run a Shield with it, a Bolster White Dryad Nia, Immunity or Stone Skin Yumiko. You're not beating it. It's just going to be horrific to fight against. You're going to have to rely on like someone like Fenax or someone like Baron and hope you can one-shot. But if you build them tanky enough, it's going to be really hard. There is a high resistance Kaimar is popular in Plat, but then can you just run Yumiko really, really high accuracy? Or bring in an increased accuracy champion? You know what I mean? I mean, there's workarounds is what I'm saying. If you can constantly reset Yumiko's cooldown, it would become rather horrific to fight. Horrific, I think. I wish I had Yumiko, but I don't. This is my Frozen Banshee. She is in Regen Immortal. Are you better to bind the stones than the essence? It's one of those things. I don't know whether essence is better than stones or stones is better than essence. Because typically, when you want to get the 4, 5 stars, 6 stars, it's so much essence. It's going to be really difficult. So, like, you know, if you look at the altar, for me, I have right now 62. I've only bought one other essence with tier 2, and that was Seeker at 635 for 5 star. So I've farmed about 90, and I've earned a fit bit as well. There's been some events. So I would say out of twins, I've earned about 80 of this tier 2 essence. I need 300 to get 1 6 star. Twins has been out for like 4 months. So it's going to take me like a year to farm essence. So yes, you could say, oh, well, I'll trade the coins. But even like, that gives me 9 essence. Like, that's not worth the trade to me. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. Part of me thinks I should be saving it for essence. Now I did instant buy a 4-star Ares. I instant bought it because it's clan boss team for me. Worth it. 15% more crit damage. If I can get 1 more star on that, she now has 100% Phantom Touch. That adds another 1 million damage to my clan boss team, if not more. So it might even add like 2 million. So I don't know. I've been just trying to get coins because, as I said, 1 more tier 2 will get me a 300. That gets me, what, 4, 5, 6, 782. I could get close to then a tier 3, which is worth it. So yeah, Yumiko, Nia, Necret. Like, can you imagine it? In terms of my Frozen Banshee, I said she is in Regen Immortal. She is slow because obviously, remember, she gets like 24 speed from Spirit Haste. So she's going to get some speed back there. And to be honest, you can see I don't need her attack more, so I can run less speed. I was actually trying to see if I ran her slower, would it be faster because she attacks less? But at my current damage, do you need more? Of course I do. The goal of Clan Boss is how hard can I get my team to hit? Not whether I need to hit more, it's whether I can get it to hit more. I think they just need to increase the essence drop rates in twins. I think it should drop in addition, not in exchange. And it should be like 40% chance to get essence, and then a range, you know, if that makes sense. Like 40%, and then like half the chance to get 1, half the chance to get 2, or whatever. Yeah, and I also think Iron Twin should give Sunday rates every single day, like Cool said. Void rate should be for every day. I should think essence should be an addition, and I think it should be like 50 or 40%, and then it changes on, like, you have a scale of how much essence you get per day. Like, obviously tier 2 should be more rare than tier 1. Basically, if it takes me 6 months, or if it takes me over 6 months to farm enough essence to get one tier 6, 1 6-star legendary, is too long, in my opinion. I get the system needs to, like, it needs to be a long-term system, but if it's taking me more than 6 months to farm enough essence to be able to buy just a singular 6-star champion when I've got 700 champions, that's too long, in my opinion. It's way too long. Who is the best orc to set up Syrian faction wars? Leburger, the one I've got here. I know it's a Doom Tower epic. That's a bit unfair to answer that. We'll have a look at the orcs now. We'll have a look. But Leburger is one of the strongest ones. See, this is where it gets a bit dodgy. If I get double crit, I need to, like, get a few more turns back. But then it's okay. Now it's a bit scary because I got triple crit. Right, we're right now. Really, I want a strong affinity one, which is why I'm going to be building up Erin Eris next time. I'm going to be building Jane. Orc setup. Kreela. Kreela's a good shout. Yorg, as someone pointed out. Yeah, Hershen is right. Yorg is great. You get increased attacks. Only one buff, though. You kind of want a double buff. What are you doing, cat? Leburger obviously is really good. Don't think Yelagina does anything. She's a debuffer. I think he's just a debuffer. Good old Tolf. He's useless. Yeah, I would imagine. Just having a look here, see if anyone else does any sort of double buffs. I don't think there's many double buffers, to be honest, in this faction. She's just on herself. Let's just check on my little tool to have a look, see what we got. Oh, look, we got another Dungeon Diver milestone. Yeah, I'm on Vassal of Sealnick. I'm getting there. 858. I'll be getting him not this rotation, probably next one. You don't get my logic, Alpha. It's what I find fun about the game. Pushing more damage in clan boss is what I find fun about the game. You know, just like some people enjoy at high in arena. Some people enjoy, like, getting 1 second faster on the dungeon teams. For me, I enjoy getting more damage on my clan boss team, even if I don't need it. Let's see. Buffs in faction orcs. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it'll be one Friday. There will be, Andy. They don't normally do back-to-back summon rushes. That's one of the few things they never do. So it should be Champion Chase. Friday. Yeah, Kreela's the most obvious one. Brago can do one. You're a single one. Raka, obviously. Warlord, if you've got a Void Legendary, obviously. If we're talking epic, it's probably now Liburger. Liburger will be the best one, because she's the only other double buffer who is... well, she is the only double buffer who's epic. Otherwise, you're working towards like someone like Kreela. It's probably more accessible. Otherwise, you avoid legendaries, basically. Oh, probably cool. But hey, it's 1,500 points towards Champion Chase. That's halfway normally towards a legendary book, so I'll take it. And considering I'm probably not going to have any voids left after pulling Nia, it's probably better than nothing. The thing is, if we weren't going so casual on this week's Champion Chase, not Champion Chase, Clan vs Clan, I would probably pull it in Clan vs Clan because it's about 37,000 points. But we're going quite casual on Clan vs Clan, so I'd rather the chase points. I've got another 1,000 points I've got just sitting in my inventory, so I could easily... Okay, we lost this one. I think this run is going to fail because we did 3% again. Unless I get lucky with an extra turn. We might still be okay. Don't have an awful lot of buffs. I don't think she can one-shot it. Not with that few buffs out. Oh boy. I think we're in trouble. Maybe I can just manual it. Hang on. So first, so it's just, there's a few elements I need to fix with this team. Right, well, you're dead, and you, so at least I can manual it this time to solve the problem. Right, then we're okay now. Oh, come on. Why is this run being awful? Ah. It's not looking great. Anyway, would you ever transform from a normal 1K to a normal one, and when would be the moment? I'm actually planning on doing a video with Snick Track on a budget starter, almost like a starter clan boss team. What should be the first clan boss team you build? For people who are sort of 60 days into the game, I'm going to try and bring the gear requirements down so that it's not so like high-end quantity, like basically stats you would need to run it properly, but not crazy stats, and just show how you can easily build a like 3-key clan boss team with just the right champion roles more than anything else. It does require you to have like an ally protector and various different things, but not necessarily the gear. I think that'll be quite helpful for people, like just like how to build your first clan boss team. I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to traditional teams. I think traditional teams are still really solid in the early game. But in terms of my account, there's no real benefit for me running a traditional team anymore. Unless I want to do it for fun. Exactly, Alpha. I mean, like, I'm not sitting here saying that everyone should try and get as much damage in clan boss. You're right. You don't get any more for, like, doing 150 million. I mean, I created a champion just to test, see how much damage I can do on clan boss. It doesn't mean I get anywhere for it, but for me, it's where I get more fun and enjoyment, is trying to find, like, how hard can I push a champion? Where can I find an extra 5% damage in my builds? How much can a blessing really improve my clan boss team? Just for fun. And pride, really. What's your brief thoughts on Ragnar and Goldgleam and Franox and where to use them? Those are the only epics I've pulled since account conception. Ragnar is actually quite solid for clan boss because I think he brings both the debuffs. And Franox's A2 hits really hard. Like, really hard. However, for an early game account, probably not that good, but is very solid for Fire Knight. So you'll probably use Franox in Fire Knight early, because it is a triple hitter with that A3, and then it hits really hard once you get no buffs out, so probably will use that. You can transition it later to be like a normal Hydra nuker. But yeah, I think Ragnar's quite solid for Clan Boss early game. I'm thinking of the time required faster, gaining 70 million. Well, the nice thing about hitting really hard, Darky, is if I am in a rush one day, then I can just cancel it after like 5 minutes, because I get to 1 key at about turn 24 these days. So I can just cancel the run then because I've hit my 1 key. So there is some advantages to going faster. Like a lot of high-end players will run, like I think it's like a double Turvold or something, double Demitha kind of unkillable, and it does it in like 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 6 minutes, something like that. Because they just want to get it over with, and they end it early. So there is advantages to doing more damage. You can't get past hard, Scott. Are we talking hard Clan Boss? You never got lucky with unkillable champs, but you've been running with Hellcath, Brogni. You got Hellcath. Hellcath's unkillable. Hellcath should be unkillable. You can run a Hellcath team, fully unkillable. You don't need anyone else. You probably need the Seeker or the Deacon. You probably need turn meter, you know, like some turn meter in it, but I'm pretty sure you can run some solo Hellcath unkillable teams. You can't get a speed tune. For Clan Boss is really easy. I can give everyone a simple Clan Boss team that could 2-key Ultra Nightmare with good champions. Is that Ice Golem done? Is that Ice Golem done? I think it is. Technically I should go for the book, but I'm not going to because I'm done with Ice Golem. Right, let's just ascend her and lock her so I don't actually accidentally feed the damn champion now that I've got it. Where is she? Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I actually think block damage teams, Nick, are better than unkillable. I actually strongly suggest that I actually think the Demitha teams are stronger than Man-Eater teams. It's better than Bat-Eater because the overall speed requirements are a lot less. So that should be taken into consideration as well. When I talk about unkillable, I mean block damage and unkillable together as a set. Like, basically means you run the team unkillable. Yeah, Dan, I remember that. Yeah, I think the fastest team, Darky, is something like a Turvold that gets up to like 10 buffs, and they just run like double extender with ally attack. Like it's a bit like Infinity team, but it's not reliant on shield. All they want to do basically is hit as hard as possible with a Turvold to get to 70 million as quickly as possible. I don't personally run it. I prefer my team, but... No luck. I got a poison team, but it get passed. Hey Sheldon, how's it going? The one I made for you, yeah, that's the standard team. Basically, if you want a Clan Boss team, right? Have I got a key to actually open the Clan Boss in 47 minutes? I can't. Let's just do it in anywhere else. Let's just go into here, right? No, Doom Tower. If you want to run a Clan Boss team, right? This is what you do. You find yourself an increased defense aura. Someone like a perfect champion for this. Still one of the best champions in the game. Where is he? I never remember where he is. What affinity is he? Have I awakened him? I have. Awakenings keep messing up the team order of me. So you run an increased defense bat champion, right? Cool. There's our decreased defense and decreased attack. Then what do you run? You run an ally protector. Now, if you wanted to make an epic only team here, you'd run someone like this. Where is he? Draggy. Now you get a backup decreased attack, and you get increased, I think you get a shield, you get a bit of poisons, and you get ally protection. Pretty good so far. Next, we run. So if you don't have extenders, and you don't have sort of like a deacon or a seeker or something, you don't need to run 2-1. 2-1 will help you, but you don't need to run 2-1. You would probably run something like... You'd probably want a leech champion, ideally. So it could be a Necmo. I'm trying to think of an epic-only leech champion here. Like, obviously, if you had someone like Godseeker and Neri, would be pretty good. Anchorite is pretty good. One champion we definitely want is a Poisoner. That could be any Poisoner you want, really, in the game. You don't want to go for someone like Anax or Fane, because they're very squishy. Keeping them alive is going to be hard. You're going to want someone like a Frozen Banshee. Someone who's a bit tankier, who can just do poisons. Now, she is better with an ally attack or a counterattack in your team, right? But she's still a solid poisoner on her own. So now we've got decreased defense and decreased attack. We've got the ally protection covered. We've got the poison covered. What else do we want? Well, a weaken would be nice. Okay, well, let's just go in and throw in a Geomancer. Where is he? He's up here, isn't he? Because of the damn awakenings. Where's Geomancer? There. So you're throwing a Geomancer. Now you've got HP burn and you've got weaken. Plus, you get the defensive passives. Because he's now going to reduce any damage anyone ever takes by 15%. Awesome. Damage reduction is what you want. What I would then leave this with is I would go, well, I actually just want to survive now. I've got everything I need. I've got decreased defense. I've got decreased attack. I've got a poison. That's where my damage is going to come from. I've got a secondary form of poison and a secondary form of decreased attack alongside my ally protector. I've got a weakened champion. I've everything I need to deal damage. If I'm on affinity, Geo's going to rock it for me. Otherwise, Frozen Banshee's going to rock it for me, right? So I could come in here and I go, well, I just want to survive now, right? So increased defense is the best way to survive. So now I just want an increased defense champion. I could go someone like Tarshan. Got a bit of turn meter fill. I could go with someone who is just a good old-fashioned increased defense champion like... I'm trying to think who does increased defense. There's an epic champion here. Oh, off the top of my head, who does increased defense without having to go look for it? Who does increased defense? Sepulchre? Yeah, you can go Sepulchre Sentinel. Great option. Because now you've got stun protection. Now, typically, we don't even need to block the stun or the speeds. Oh, Hellhades is watching me now. Light Sworn. Does Light Sworn do AoE increased defense? I never remember if these things happen. Where is it? I saw him a minute ago. Yeah, it's too long a cooldown. You want more regularity, though. He's a 4-turn cooldown, a 2-turn. You want someone who can do like 3 on a 2? This champion's probably perfect for it, right? Because you get 3-turn. Is that booked to 3-turn or is it still 4-turn? Again, we still want probably a little bit better than that. That's a 4-turn. Ideally, we want 3. Yeah, Hellhades is in the house. Guys, go follow Hellhades. You could really use your subscriber count, right? He's really struggling lately. I'm only joking. Don't sack me. Okay, don't fire me in the morning, please. Marked is a great one. See, great. This is what happens. See, me and Hellhades like think about things all the time, and then this is how our conversations go. We just go, oh, what about this champion? That's a great idea. I'm sure I've got a marked stored away somewhere. I think Penitent is an interesting champion as well, but I don't think she does increase defense. I'm sure I've got it marked in here somewhere. I keep champion of all the good rares. Rarity. Anyway, I can't find her in here. But you get the point, right? So what you do is you structure it so that the ally protector goes last on AoE 1. So everyone gets ally protection then for both AoEs. That's reducing your damage by 50% instantly. If you get some awakenings or blessings on these champions, you put faultless defense on it, reduces your damage even further. This will 3-key even with the worst gear in the world. If you get your right speeds, right setup with the right champion roles, this is how you build a clan boss team. So that's what I'll probably do a video this week or next week sometime on using some champions. Now obviously you can upgrade this, right? So if you got lucky and you went, you know what, I pulled myself a Snick Track. Right, if I go and find him here, where is he? He's in this pool of champions that I have to build at some point, right? Snick Track is great because now I've got ally protection and some more self-healing because I've got leech. I've got decreased speed, not going to work here, but decreased attack on an A1. Now I've got more flexibility, right? Because I don't necessarily have to run Tyrell. I can run a different champion here because I've got another decreased attack champion. You can look at different options. But essentially you want a decreased defense, decreased attack, ally protector, and a poisoner. If you've got 4 of those, you should be hitting Ultra Nightmare even at day 60. You don't need crazy speeds. All of these champions can be run at less than 190 speed if you wanted to. Easily. Easily. Easily could happen. This is embarrassing because you are being kind and using accessible champions, but it makes me realize I have the Legos. That's it. I mean, the good thing these days is there are so many opportunities to get legendary champions when there's better summoning events. They do lots of times too. There's guaranteed options. There's free legendaries, like just the free epics in Doomtown. Like once you get Dark Hale is insane for clan boss. It's a long way to get him, I'll admit. But if you are still struggling, like by the time you get Dark Hale, his passive is insane because it stops the clan boss critting on you. It's massive. What stats would you be looking at? You aim for around about 3,000 defense. You aim for anywhere between 190 to 195 speed. So like typically, for example, if we just do this quickly. So if we go to deadwithjedi.com. Clan boss, right? So if I was building an Ultra Nightmare clan boss, I would go something like Snick Track. Say like I kept my Tyrell. I built in, who else did we have in here? Let's say I kept Geomancer. Let's say I kept my Frozen Banshee. And then finally, let's say I put Marked in here. I think Marked is a 3-turn cooldown, right? So we would go. You can either go before the clan boss goes, or you can go even slower if you want. Like, let's go even slower. Let's go at 171. Let me just get these in the right order. Frozen Banshee. Needs to go to 175. Mark defense. Perfect. So if we run slower, so you can skip the first clan boss turn if you wanted to. If you were struggling for speed really bad and you just needed a bit more strength here, you could run a lot slower, right? You can run at 170 speed. You can probably go a little bit slower than that. I don't think you can go any slower than 171 because I think he then falls out. Well, we could go a bit slower if we want. Want to make sure that we're always going. I think that's the lowest we can go. 169 is probably the lowest. We always want to go 1 turn, right? So what we're doing, we're going to delay turns here. Just going to make sure the A3 goes in the right place. Perfect. Right, so what we've got here now, right? Let me zoom this in so you can all see what I'm talking about. You set it up here so that Snick Track goes and does its ally protection just at AoE A1. Because he's the last person in the team, everyone has ally protection, even for the second AoE. Thing about ally protection on Clan Boss, it absorbs half of the damage before the Gathering Fury goes on. So whilst the Clan Boss keeps multiplying his damage after turn 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it, continuously, the ally protection is happening before that happens. So ally protection is insanely powerful. This team lasts twice as long, 3 times as long because of ally protection. So Snick Track goes here, places it here. Because it's a 3-turn cooldown, he gets it back in time for the next one. Then we put increased defense on so that we're tanky for both AoEs. The only one that's going to be weak is Snick Track. That's not a problem. Snick Track heals himself by 50%. You build a bit more defensive stats on your Snick Track. That's not a problem. You then see by the time to A3, everything's falling off. But then Snick Track is going to A2, which means you put a big shield on whoever's about to get stunned. And it doesn't matter who gets stunned out of Tyrell, Frozen Banshee, and Geomancer. As long as Marked and Snick Track don't get stunned, it's fine. And you can force the targeting in different ways, right? You can do it via Affinity, you can do it via Steadfast, you can do it via buffs, various different things. But this team is a budget starter team. You know, we got speeds here, 169 to 175. They're not that crazy fast. If you pick a champion with a speed aura, you can go slower. That can easily 3-key Ultra Nightmare. You want to get about 3,000 defense on everyone. I don't think... If you had Snick Track, you don't need Lifesteal. You can go Stalwart. The clan boss, 66% of his attacks is AoE. Stalwart, if not Stalwart, Defiant. Think about this now as a new player. You come in, you go, I've got a little bit of money. I'm going to buy Defiant Forge Pass. I now have 210 5 to 6 star pieces that are Defiant. That's 45% damage reduction on the clan boss, paired with my ally protection. If I'm not hitting Ultra Nightmare clan boss by day 90, I'm focusing in the wrong areas. And I think that's the big thing to remember about clan boss. If you get the right champions, if you get really unlucky you don't get an ally protector, it's hard. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. But if you get an ally protector early, Taragi is a good option, someone like that, this becomes much easier. And you should be able to do this clan boss. That's just a basic team. Obviously, if you run an extender with an increased speed, you can run at 2-1 speeds. The speeds go up, but now you can probably get more in one key. But this will probably end up doing 20 to 25 million. That's 3-4 key territory, and it's way better to 3-4 key Ultra Nightmare than to be 2 key in Brutal or Hard. But the roles that you need, Poisoner, Ally Protection, Decreased Defense, Decreased Attack, get those 4, you can do Clan Boss. Yeah, Ornn, for example, would be great. Ornn would be a great option. Right, let's get some Hydra done, because otherwise we're never going to get that done tonight. We're hitting normal. Let's do some raw damage here. Should we use our 5-star Baron that we picked up? Nia, for example, Edward, great example. Right now, if I'm sitting in here and I'm sitting on 40 or 38 Void Shards, I would be more excited about the guaranteed Nia if I'm not hitting Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss than going for ×2 Void. Because I could pull a Yumiko, that is not going to get me doing Clan Boss. I could pull a Warlord, that is not going to get me doing Clan Boss. But if I get Nia, that will get me doing Clan Boss. It takes about 4 months to figure out how the game works, Jessica. Don't worry. I sit here and I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but Hellhades will probably tell you when I first started playing the game, I came into his Discord and I was asking people, how the hell do I beat this stage? And what am I doing here? And what am I doing that? Vizix, another great example, Helder. You get it quite late into the game, so by then you've probably picked up a few champions, but if you still got really unlucky, you didn't get any Demitha, you didn't get any Unkillable, Vizix is a great champion. Really good champion. Right, we're going to do some damage here. We're going to pull this. What are we? Have we still got Torment? Yeah, so we're going to need a... We're going to need a Shamael. Any old Shamael will do. Throw him in. Is there a Decay head here? Yeah, so we need a Provoke, so we're going to pull Seeker. We'll just hit it with some Fenax love, I think. Who else? Probably need a Broggers. Let's pull a Brogni in. I think we're done then. Just more damage. Let's use Boltsmith, shall we? Let's use the king of the dwarves. Yeah, cool. It's a typical night, isn't it? 2 hours in, we finally start Hydra. You can't get Lilitu out of your clan boss team. Should I even try putting Kyoku? Kyoku is difficult to speed tune, but she's the best ally protector. We can speed tune Kyoku. She is perfectly speed tunable. She's just harder to speed tune in a 2-1, but she's better in a 1-1. Nick, if you send me a link on DM to Discord with your share link from the optimizer, I can probably advise you a better team without Duchess, because you're right, you don't want to keep Duchess in your team. It's just wasting the champion. I did the same thing with Lydia for a while. I had Lydia in my clan boss, and it was just a waste of a powerful champion. You don't want it in there. Ornn would be great instead of Frozen Banshee, yeah. But yeah, Nick, send me a link to your optimizer account, and I'll advise a better team for you. Don't waste a few clan boss teams. Literally send me a link. I'll send you a clan boss calculator link back. Save your keys. How highly do you rate Tyrell? Tyrell for me is still a top 10 epic in this game. He is everything you want. The fact you could get Tyrell for free is mind-boggling. You get AoE decreased defense. That is the #1 debuff in any part of the game, especially progression. Decreased defense is so powerful for killing waves. You get a single target decreased attack. It's essential for clan boss. You also get some turn meter control on the A3, and he's defense based, and he's a defense aura, which you often need in early game. He's a monster. Vesulf is a great ally protector. Vesulf has increased defense with the ally protection, which is why he's nice. You're right, Hershen. There's a couple that do increase defense and ally protect, not many. One thing I don't understand is what you mean by 2 key and 3 key. Is that that's a new concept for you? So what we mean by when we say we 1 key or we 2 key, it's how many clan boss keys do you need to hit the highest amount of damage for the top chest. So for clan boss Ultra Nightmare, you need to hit, is it 70.4, 71 million? So if I could do 72 million using just a singular clan boss key, I've 1 keyed. If I need 2 of those keys to hit that 71, I've 2 keyed, and vice versa and vice versa. Often the goal is you want to get to like 2 key. You want to kind of get to a point where you can 2 key Ultra Nightmare, 1 key Nightmare, so you don't have to sit there waiting for your 4th key to regen. That's the goal, normally. I actually have Vesulf in protection set for Magma Dragon. It's not really working though. I was messing around with things. Right, are we going to RNG this provoke? Come on then. There we go. I think I forgot to add decreased defense here. Oh no, I didn't. I have it here. There we go. Should we see the king? The king of the dwarves. Come on, Thor and Oaken Shield. Smash it for some damage. 200,000 damage. I should have probably saved that for actually when his head, the head was dead. Yeah, people forget the bolster set heals as well. It's actually quite nuts. This is going to be awkward. Right, please land the decreased defense. Thank you. Well, that's a bit awkward. Right, well, you just hit this guy for some damage. A casual 674,000 for my 5-star Baron. I don't know if we're going to get back to Boltsmith in time. Watch this. 400,000. Yeah, we are. Right, King of the North. How much damage do we think the 6-star fully awakened Boltsmith is going to do, guys? Type in chat now. This ability here. Attacks one enemy will ignore 30% of the target's defense. There's decreased defense. Out. No weaken. Remember, there's no weaken. 600,000. Okay. Yeah. 1.3 million. That's ambitious. 1,550,000. 650,000. 300k. 1 million. So we're quite a wide range, if I can talk tonight. 400k, 320, 450,000. All right then. He's going to do 678,000 plus 119,000 from a War Master proc and another 55,000 from a Phantom Touch proc. So 850,000. King of the North. Why can he do damage when he's stunned? Who codes this stuff? He is stunned. He cannot do damage. Why is that a thing? I mean, we've one keyed. It's just... This is just normal. I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, I've stunned the target. Every other stun would stop that from happening. Stupid head. I don't care. I just want to do as much damage before I die. There goes Baron. This poison head actually deals the most amount of damage, I find. He's the highest damage dealing. Like the highest DPS head, I find anyway. And we're pretty much done. Let's save time. End battle. Normal's done. Boltsmith bringing in the 1.4 million. That's funny. Right, one key down. Normal's done. Where am I on the list? 8.7 million. Let's do Brutal next. Brutal's the worst one. Necmo. I forget these teams. I know it was you. It's pretty much Ninja. Now, if Fortis worked, if it feared my own champion, he'd be going into this team. But I have found a use for Fortis being a Nightmare Campaign farmer. You know, you guys saw it there. I've actually managed to perfect him a little bit. He's quite good at it. I'm quite impressed with him. Yeah, Fenax is a monster. I love Fenax. Hey, Evad, how you doing? How's it going? Just finished your last Hydra key. I got to do 2 more because I've been distracted and slacking trying to finish the stupid Ice Golem tournament. Might be a good time to showcase the Hydra suggest on the optimizer side. Oh, what I do need to showcase, which probably Fiction is probably telling me off on DMs now. We got a sponsorship coming up for a new game. I don't know if you guys have spotted in Eternal Evolution. There's in the official Hellhades Discord, there's a new area called Eternal Evolution. We have... I'm just trying to find the links now. It's the right link. Just checking the website here. Check this game out, guys. It's a sponsorship we've got. Hey, no. This is the first time Hellhades Gaming Network on its own, HH Gaming Network on its own, also has a sponsorship here. It's actually a game that, to be fair, Jay Giggs, shout out to Jay Giggs, the funniest man on the internet, was talking about this game. That's where I heard about it first, but it's actually something that Hellhades himself has been talking with the developers as well. It's coming out Wednesday, officially. But we also have a partnership with them where you can get some extra goodies if you pre-register and a bunch of other things. You will hear about it tomorrow in my video as well. It's the first sponsored video that we've done on this channel. But we're actually quite looking forward to the game. So for me, it's the first game that I've actually seen, to me, that has graphics that are on par with Plarium, with Raid. You know, I've played things like Ace, I've played things like Dragon Champions and a couple of others, but generally the graphics are quite low quality. Eternal Evolution, the graphics are really good. I like the way you can move the champions as well. Like your champions, you can move them, so there's more strategy rather than just press go. You can target a few things. It still has the auto rolling functionality, which is good. It's still got all the different functions. It's got arenas, it's got bosses. Really cool. So I'm not trying to make this stream a sponsored segment, but check out the link, have a look at it. If you use the link on that page where it says Eternal Evolution at the start and you pre-register, you'll get some free goodies when you first start the game. Give it a try, see what you think. It's probably not for everyone. We're playing it. We've got a bit of early access to it at the moment. But yeah, we're going to be adding content to the site. Get involved in the Discord, in Hellhades Discord. You can basically, you just have to react to the role to get access to the room for Eternal Evolution. I know Hellhades as well is going to be sponsoring it. You'll see it in his videos tomorrow. It looks really good. And as I said, to be fair, I heard it from Jay Giggs. I'm not saying, you know, I don't want to shout out to Jay Giggs. He's hilarious. Could be a good game to play. I don't know whether it's good enough to replace Plarium. Probably, you know, replace Raid. Probably not, because Raid is such a well-dominant game. But it's cool. It's a really good game, I think. We've been, I think Fiction's been playing it for a while now. So I don't think if he's in chat, he's probably updating the website busily in the background. But if he's in chat, he's been playing it, so you can answer any questions you guys have got. Is it Apple only? No, it should be on Android as well, Darky. You should be able to play it on BlueStacks, Android, iOS. It's just not out. It just doesn't have a PC client. So that is a bit of a problem. Whether or not it gets a client in the future, I don't know. But that is a problem if you don't have like BlueStacks, which, you know, for me, I'm not a big BlueStacks user either. So that is a bit of a problem. Eventually, Windows will be able to support Android emulators built into Windows. You don't need to use BlueStack. It's coming like, they keep saying it's coming really soon. Like it's being tested in Asia and different things. It's really close, so you can actually run Android apps within Windows without having external emulators. I've heard it's really close. It'll be really good. But yeah, exactly, Pocket. I think Raid deserves a bit of competition. That link is for Apple, is it? I don't know. Is Fiction in the chat? Hang on. 1 sec. That's Fiction. Fiction is the guy all sorting all this out. He is the man, as always. Nick, do you know what? I've done that a lot. Where he's like, every morning now a little bit, I have this thought in my head when I get my coffee for the first thing, and I remember Jay Giggs doing it on his Free to Succeed. It's right at the top. I think we need to add a better button on that page. But if you look at the top in the first paragraph, it says, A Day's a New Game, Eternal Evolution. I'll ask Fiction to put a bigger button just so it's obvious. But if you hit that link where it says Eternal Evolution, you should be able to see it. Yeah, I need to add a bigger button. Guys, if you're opening the link on your Apple phone, then it will obviously go to the Apple link. That's what I think is happening. If you go and open it on an Android, it should open on an Android. I think that's what it's doing. I'll ask him to put a button on it so it's big. But Fiction is in like charge for all. Oh, so you opened it on PC and it opened in Apple. Oh, there you go. LD Player. Yeah, you probably need to go through LD Player or BlueStacks or something of that nature. So yeah, you'll hear about it from Hellhades. You'll hear about it from me on some of the videos as well. But it is not out yet. Exactly. But as I said, guys, head over to the Hellhades Discord. There is a new section in there. So yeah, there's a new section on the Hellhades Discord, Eternal Evolution. If you head to the welcome room, hit the reaction, you'll unlock all the different rooms, and we're just starting the general chat in there. So if there's any questions, Fiction will probably be monitoring it. And that. There is also a homepage as well on the homepage. Let me see if I can find that as well. There we go. Fiction's been hard at work today. He's been earning his directorial role. So if you head to that, we'll be adding content bit by bit. He is working on building out the content as we go. Ivy Lee's been doing some content on it as well. J Gigs has been doing some content. So you'll be hearing a lot from us. It's probably going to be quite a big game, hopefully. Does your link work going through the Apple Store to get extra bits? Oh, I guess so. It might already be out, Hershen. I know when we contacted them, they were giving us sort of install files. It wasn't out on any app store that we could access. Just drop me a DM on Discord, Nick. I know it says I'm DND, but it's fine. I'll reply to you. Just drop me a DM on Discord. If I'm not replying to you instant, that'll be why. Yeah, so when you click on the link, it'll read the device you're on. Is there another Ace replica? I actually think it's got a bit better things than Ace. Because the thing with Ace was, it's got some of the like battle animations like Ace has got, but Ace was very like focused on like one or two champions. If you got like one or two champions, Ace was really good. If you didn't, it was really slow. And there was some issues with like gearing in Ace and different things like that. I actually think so far from what Fiction's been telling me, because he's a bit further on in the game than I am, that there's more depth to this game. The graphics are better. So it could be more to it than Ace. Ace was a pretty good game. It's just it didn't last very long. You kind of hit a wall, and then the content wasn't quite finished. That's it. Ace was fun, but then you started hitting that thing of unless you had the poisoner dude, then every run was really slow. So you want to see my ninja, Danilo? Ninja is in Relentless, but he's built for boss killing. So he's got 420 resist, 323 accuracy, 220 speed, and about just basically tanky stats. The defense is a bit low, but being in Relentless is quite hard. The gear is quite hard to get with these stats. What should I consider using the 2 friend link champions? Trying to figure out where should I wait to 6 stars to miss it or until I get legendary. Jamas is a great support if you need a reviver. The A2, the passive isn't as strong as I thought it was going to be, but she's a good reviver. She is obviously better with Chronom, but if you need a reviver, she's solid, really good. You doing some more New World? I haven't had a chance to play New World. It's been one of those days today where I've been overloaded with tasks, but I will be doing New Worlds. I will be continuing to play it amongst raid content. Right, so what other champions have we got here? Will I find the pre-register on the Discord on the site? If you head to the Discord, you will have the link to the site in the message, but we will pin the... let me see if I can get a pin thing in the thing. The best place to go for now is the site. If you go to here, if you go to that site and you hit the play now button, that will take you straight to the pre-registration button. Yeah, get involved, guys. I think it'd be really good. Hellhades will be doing promotions on it tomorrow as well, I think. So he'll obviously welcome your sort of participation, and hopefully it's a good game that we can all play as a community. Oh, is it really? Maybe it's some weird things. I don't know. Maybe it's like a limited release. Chronom in Hydra is really good with Jamasa. It's really good. It's just difficult to get Chronom because you need like 6 champions at level 40, 6 accounts at level 40. It's really hard. Right, who else did we want here? We wanted Ugo. We actually have Ugo with 3-star cruelty now, which is quite good. We didn't have that before, so we'll be able to decrease some defense a little bit. And who was the last champion we had in here? Was it Lydia? I can never remember. No, it was Mithrala, wasn't it? It's always one I forget. There we go. Right then. What's the minimum up defense speed recommended for Brutal? So speed-wise, I always aim for 250, unless they're a speed booster. Like, to be honest, I want my Necmo 300 if I can get him, but he's in Relentless. Then for defense, you just want to be tanky. Like 3k defense is a good tanky level. Accuracy, you need the minimums, like, you know, 350 odd. Is it multi-platform? I think tournaments are cross-server, Dave. But I think guilds are server only. So if you want to be in the guild, you need to be on the same server. But all the other events and stuff, I think, is cross-server, multi-platform, I think. I don't think it's an issue. Not sure how, but I think you can have that link pinned at the top of the chat. Oh, well, now that's asking a question that I don't know how to do. Pin message. God, there you go, look. Professional YouTuber. Provoke, nice. So, since the last time we ran this team, we now have a 3-star Ugo. We didn't have that before. Now, obviously, I don't have a solution for the Torment Head. We are RNG in the Fear with this team, which could be awful. Last time it was pretty rubbish, but every so often the RNG works in our favour. We just didn't actually get a provoke there on this champion over here, which is actually a bit of a problem. So we're kinda... We need to avoid poisons over on the Decay Head, otherwise Cantra is not going to provoke. Bit of a problem. Want to always make sure decrease speed on that is out. Take a bit of a blast there from the Wrath Head. Get a bit of a Brimstone proc. That's quite nice. That's rare. That never normally happens. We did get a provoke out, so that's good. We're back normal. So again, we're ramping up Ninja. This team can 1-key. Brutal. Pretty comfortably. Even on this rotation, which is actually its worst rotation. Because we have no solution for Fearhead. We're just tanking the fears, basically. We're praying that we don't have this situation where Cantra has just resisted again. Which is really quite annoying. Or not plied the provoke. So we need to get back around to Cantra as quickly as possible. In hopes that we get a provoke out. Which is looking a bit dodgy. We did just get it because we were running out of debuff bar there. The Fear RNG is hitting us hard. It's like they're an enemy fortress right now and got an extra 50% chance or something. Yeah, I mean, you get to that point though here, bad, right? Where you just go, well, I've kind of 1-key. Do I keep going? And then you just kind of go, it's getting boring now. How long did that take you to get to that much damage? Is it worth using Brimstone on Mithrala? Currently is 1-star temporal. Chains arena focus for now. No. Not if you're using it for arena. Brimstone's kind of useless in arena. Temporal Chains is probably better for her in arena because you always have some form of buff out, so that's going to slow people down. Full manual, yeah. Oh, you still need to do it for the clan. I'm luckily in this situation because my clan kind of like covers me. So I don't actually have to like go crazy hard damage. I can just do the minimums. We are talking about potentially touching Nightmare, and I was like, I just don't have time this week. Oh, we got a little like Soul Reap proc there on Cantra. It's pretty good. We're about to kill the Mischief Head. There we go. Everyone's turn meter drops. Get rid of all those fears. And now we can ramp some damage up, hopefully. Is Reviver necessary for Clan Boss? A Reviver is probably not ideal for Clan Boss. If you're relying on a Reviver, you're probably not doing it right. Is that the right word? I mean, not so much you're not doing it right, you just don't ever want to be in a position unless you know you can control the revive. Like there's some teams out there that use a Torture Helm or a Revive on Death strategy to kind of revive after the stun. Unless you're doing an actual speed tune revive, revive normally means you've fallen into trouble and it kind of starts falling apart. It's a bit like Iron Twins. When you need to start reviving people, you're kind of in trouble with Iron Twins. It is satisfying when you kill everything. You're like, I've got so many options. The kingdom is mine. If anyone doesn't know, as Elliot is pointing out, Earbad is the king of free-to-play strategy. If you ever want to know how to min-max your free-to-play account to an absolute nth degree, you know, Hellhades free-to-play series, I know it's come to an end. Bittersweet. But if you want to know how to use, like, what you should be focusing on free-to-play, that's a great series. But if you really want to know how you can push your free-to-play account to the utter limit and get everything you ever want, Earbad is your man. He knows how to run a free-to-play account better than I've ever seen. Does require a lot of commitment, though. Does require commitment. Don't expect it to be an easy ride. I mean, it's Tio. Who doesn't pull shards for Tio? I actually didn't pull shards for Tio because I just accepted the reality that I would never get him. Right, this is a bit of a bad situation, right? Because we actually don't have enough debuffs out to be able to get the provoke out again. So in this situation, I actually need to A1 to get that out, because otherwise we're in trouble. Because now the provoke should land. If that provoke didn't land, we were in trouble then. Soul Reap. Now this is the most dangerous part of this team, trying to get Ninja out the first attack. Because obviously he's our main source of damage. I think we're going to be okay because we've got enough, like, secondary sources of damage. Could push my counter 3v3 arena thanks to those two. Great stuff. That's awesome to hear. I would actually do more high-end arena content on this channel if my account wasn't so devoid of the high-end arena meta. Because I lack a Necret the Great, because I lack Warlord, Kaimar, Siphi, Yumiko, like, it's brutal. It just feels so impossible for me to even consider doing any form of endgame arena content because I feel like I'm like, you know, I'm fighting with a broken leg. It's just impossible. What did I miss prior to Hydra? Not much. Only the information about the new game that we are sponsored for. But you'll hear about that in a video tomorrow if you watch it. Just hit this, I guess. How much have I spent on my account? I mean, I wouldn't want to look. I don't think it's healthy to look because it's just embarrassing. But it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be nothing. I've spent a fair bit on my account. You know, I'd say it's over 1,000 in my lifespan. What's everyone's most hated Hydra head? I actually dislike the poison head because the damage the poison head puts out is quite high. I struggle to out-heal the poison head damage. I think high-end arena is not real too interesting. Getting gold is hard enough. No, but I think people do appreciate, like, meta reports. And I'd love to do, like, a meta report every Monday to explain, you know, how things are changing, what's morphing in the meta, are there new appearances, are there new champions. I also like troubleshooting. I enjoy it when there's an actual, like, problem to solve, which is where you get a lot in the end game. In the end game, most problems are solved quite easily. But there's always problems in the arena that require a solution. But as I said, because I just don't have any champions, it's really hard to do anything. Because how do you solve a problem without Necret? It's so hard. That's what I'm saying, like a good meta report. It feels like a little bit the top end arena is like a hidden secret that you only get to know how to run the top end arena meta if you're in the click, which it shouldn't be. It should be accessible to everyone. Like, I was tempted this week because I was quite high up on the ladder. I was about like behind by about 50 points. But then it's like waking up and then probably get absolutely slaughtered because I don't have teams in Stone Skin yet. I haven't had time to build champions properly. Not having just simple, easy meta solutions kind of put me off, really. Yeah, Giannis, it's not even the fact he does poisons. It's the fact the on-hit damage is quite a lot with that poison head. It feels like he hits a lot. I know he doesn't hit a lot harder, but he does hit more damage, it feels like. I feel the impact of that poison head more than anyone else. I don't have a provoke out on this decay head. I just realized. And I've just put a poison on it, so I have to kill that thing quickly. You don't need too much in Great Hall, though. You got to remember that. Great Hall is people over-prioritize the value of the Great Hall in this game now. When we didn't have Awakenings, Blessings, we didn't have Faction Guardians, we didn't have all these different things, I could understand when people would go, oh, do you know what? My Great Hall is terrible. But actually, you don't, like, outside, like, the accuracy Great Hall is still really good. But you get more stats from Blessings and Awakenings and Empowerment and Faction Guardians, right? You don't need the Great Hall as much anymore. You know, when the arena was really busted, everyone's like, oh, how do I progress my arena? How do I progress my Great Hall? It's unfair that I have to do PvP to progress my Great Hall. And I get it to some extent, but I also do think people were overestimating the value of the Great Hall. It's not like it's going to change your account. You got to remember as well, we've had Perception gear added. That made a big difference. We added access to high-end gear. We added bolster sets. We added Doom Tower sets. It's no longer a thing of like these sets are better than the original sets. So when you think 2 years ago, you didn't have lethal, so you needed an extra 10% crit rate. You didn't have all these cool, like, for even Perception 2 years ago wasn't that much around. So yeah, I still think having accuracy maxed and resistance maxed and crit damage maxed is a big thing, right? You want to work towards them, but your account shouldn't be in a situation where, like, I can't progress because I shouldn't be in a situation I can't progress because my Great Hall's not big enough. That should never be a situation. Wonder when we get a new head. I mean, it's been ages now. We should have had it by now, I think. I don't really know why we haven't. It's the gear these top guys have to go with the Necrets. Yeah, but I would say that it's much easier to get gear now. Like, the addition of all these new sets has meant that actually farming is even worse now than it's ever been. Because for 20 bucks, you get, as I said, like, what is it? I think it's 210 5 to 6 star crafts in the forge for 20 pounds or 20 bucks. Like, that would be like 1,000 finite runs. It's so much easier to get gear now than it was ever been before. Granted, cruel gear, lethal, savage, you know, yes, they have really strong gear. I'm not denying that you're going to be behind in the gear department. I'm just saying that because of the changes to the game and the forges and all the different Doom Tower sets, actually getting access to high quality gear is much easier than it's ever been before. Yeah, it used to be really horrific, wasn't it, Dutchy? Like, some of these things. Even like now, for example, the speed meta is dead. Back when I was playing the game and I was trying to get Arbiter, it was horrific to get Arbiter because effectively everyone in the arena was running Arbiter. So if you couldn't beat the Arbiter, there wasn't go second options with Bolster, Stone Skin, Reaction. We didn't have all these things that were going to help us go second like we do now. So you had this situation where ultimately it was a speed race. And I remember to get my Arbiter, I needed to get into Gold 4. So I had to basically get myself into Gold 2. I was running Gorgorab. Gorgorab's base speed is a big problem. And I think my team was something like Gorgorab, Krutraxa, Umbral, and Ceres, or something like that. That was my team. And I had to sit there, and I burnt about 200 gems, and I would literally refresh the screen trying to find the one teams that I could beat. The teams that I knew I could beat, to basically climb up to Gold 4 so I could get Arbiter. Once I got Arbiter, I added 20 speed to my team, and I could compete in Gold 4. But because you couldn't actually... Like, you had to beat the enemy speed still, because you didn't have go second options, really. That was a completely different era. Really different era. Now, actually getting to Gold 5, Arbiter is less important. Again, one of those situations where people used to say, oh, how do I get my Arbiter? Actually, Arbiter is not that valuable anymore. Because the speed meta is very difficult. There's so many good go second options now. I can run 4 champions in Stone Skin, Reaction, Bolster. Easily beats an enemy speed team without even breaking a sweat. Yeah, exactly, Elliot. That was the kind of position you were in. To beat Arbiter, you needed Arbiter, but to get Arbiter, you had to beat Arbiter. So therefore, you couldn't get it. You just had to do it like I did. The strategy was you had to get yourself in a position where you could instantly get it, unlock the mission, then drop all the way back down. I put my exact same gear from Gorgrab into Arbiter, and I went up 15 to 20 speed. Made a difference. It's why base speeds are such an important thing to look at. It's why when I was talking about Ruella, her being 112 base speed is such a big deal. Wouldn't sound like it, but it just means she's so much easier to build. She's still good, don't get me wrong, but she's not essential anymore. You can easily beat an Arbiter out. Like, Arbiter isn't going to ever be a situation to cause you to win. Put it like that. That's the best way to describe it. If you lose a fight, it wasn't because of the Arbiter. It'll be because of someone else. Where, literally, like 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, if you lost, it was probably because you weren't fast enough to beat Arbiter. And it was Arbiter that was causing the problem. Now here, I want to try and get Brimstone on this Suffering Head as much as I can. Because Suffering Head is really good. When he takes a turn now, he's going to proc that twice. So that's like 500,000 or was it 200,000 damage he's going to do in one go. Well, unless you have a Warlord, Arbiter Warlord beats 95% of the teams I go up against. Yeah, but I could run Baron A1. I've beaten Arbiter Warlord with Baron A1. Bolster, Reaction, wait for it to come with a little bit of revenge, boom, they're dead. Because they're designed to be squishy because they're going fast. It's why you never see Arbiter in Arena offense anymore, in Plat Arena. I can't remember the last time I've seen an Arbiter in Plat Arena. Yeah, Bash is okay. The problem is Bash just doesn't put it on long enough cooldown. You can out-tank it. You basically out-tank the cooldowns and you can't get back in time. The block buffs is awkward, but it's random, right? So you can't rely on it. How do I get Romantu then? Gotta do the missions. To be honest, the biggest barrier for Romantu is actually the damn glyph mission. That thing's horrific. I don't know whoever thought that was a good idea. If I didn't have loads of glyphs saved up, that was never going to happen. This run has been really smooth. Much better than last week when we ran this. But you can see why I'm saying that even though this team doesn't really have a dedicated phase solution, it's not a problem. It's tanking it quite well. We've not really been any under strain at all. We're about 4 million away from the 1 key. Yeah, Mark, I hear it. I understand the pain. And it's annoying because Romantu is such a big champion. Like, he's a monster. Not so good now that Polymorph is out, but he does counter things like Ultimate Death Knight, Rotus passives. So strong. Is the Glyph mission before? If you know, it's after. It's after getting Arbiter, Franklin. But you want to be saving your 5-star Glyphs, really. You don't want to really be using them too much. Gold tag is probably just a case of getting the right champion set up in the right way. A lot of tag team arena, and it's the same as like secret rooms, it's about how many champions you can build rather than like the gear in itself is quite easy to acquire if you're doing Hydra. You can get away with lots of go second strategies. A lot of it comes down to have you got the champions available to build 3 teams. You know, you can run your main arena speed team as one team. You can run a go second team and then a third go second team, and you can also run like a bomb team if you want, something like a stone skin team. You got options, right? There's so much. It's just whether or not you've got the options available to you. You could argue miner farming is more profitable then. What do you mean by miner farming? Not sure. Yeah, obviously you want to be able to get like enough Great Hall upgrade, right? You still need to do that. So that's still a blocker, but you should be able to do arena with a reasonable amount of effort now. Yeah, Romantu is just like anyone who's got a really annoying passive, Asuga, Duchess, Mithrala, put an increased accuracy on him, disable the passive. It's actually quite nuts. What do you think of a hard team? Mithrala, Aneri, Seeker, Ugo, Geo, Husk. Yeah, it could work. I'm not sure what the Seeker's doing there. So the Provoke, is it? You might want more of a heal Provoker, like a Bivald or something of that nature, but yeah, it could work. Krisk, obviously, would be the other Provoker, yeah. I would do bomb teams, however. We'll need those champions back because I used them as food when the bomb wasn't that great. The bomb arena is still pretty rubbish, if you ask me, because of Bolster. Bolster kind of kills the bomb meta. You got to know you're walking into Stone Skin for it to be worth it, and you can never predict that these days. I'd rather bring more guarantees with champions that can do stuff rather than rely so much on a bomb. How would you run Shazar with Gaia's team? I'd want to put on... How would I run... I don't know if I would ever run a bomb team. I'm very anti-bombs. I think they're just too RNG. Because we don't know you're walking into Stone Skin, you can't guarantee you're going to get a benefit. Gomlock. Ah, yeah. See, that's the thing. What Raid is very good at is distracting you. Like, oh, you need to focus on this, you need to focus on this. You need to be focused on some things all the time. Like, you want to be trying to get as many secret rooms done because eventually you're going to hit a wall. You don't want to hit a wall. Mother Sibel, great. She's really good for Hydra. AoE decreased speed, increased defense. She just loves books. That's the problem with Mother Sibel. She loves books. And it's really harsh to book her. Would it be viable in hard Doom Tower? I think the problem is because bombs are based on attack, they're too squishy. I'd rather run more stun set controls than run bombs and just take a little bit longer because at least there's more safety to it. Whereas with bombs, it's just too RNG heavy and the bomb ratios you need to get there. It's alright for something like Bommel, right? Because Bommel gets a 300 damage stim. If you're having to boost the bomb by 300% to make it relevant, you've got a pretty fundamental problem. That's my argument. If they had defense-based bombers, or they had like tier 2 bombs that were more like cluster bombs where they would do splash damage, a bit like Hex, then we're talking. But in its current form, I don't think bombs are very viable at all. I know, speaking of the man who's in chat, Hellhades has done a lot of stuff on bombs in terms of PvE content. If you check some of his videos, I think he's done some on... I don't know if it's Dragon or Fire Knight he's tested bombs on. You can do it. I just don't think it's the #1 strategy. I think it's just so hard to enable. And you're just going to end up putting yourself in a bit of a hole. Because of the way you have to build them, that's the problem. You need attack. If you haven't got attack, then it just kind of is it's a bit difficult. Yeah, I would do one or the other. Gaius is obviously a better bomber by far because his cooldown rotation is much lower. Sure, Shazar gives himself increased attack, but he needs the crit rate, where Gaius doesn't. The other problem with bombs is I think when they introduced Mithrala, it's almost like they made bombs good, and then they introduced problems which make bombs bad. So, you know, bombs are awesome. Cool. Oh, Mithrala comes in. Mithrala ends bomb meta. Then we change it again, and we actually make bombs better because we release someone like Gaius. Okay, bombs are really interesting now. And then we release Bolster, and Bolster kills bomb meta again. Because now instead of running Stone Skin, I'm running Bolster as well, and there's no way that my bombs can get rid of it through a Bolster shield that can be buffed up by normal shields. Can you build 1-1 Ultra Nightmare Infinity Comp with Brogni, Cadaver, Aniri, Sandlashed, and Hellborn? You can. I wouldn't do it because personally I don't see any value in the Infinity Comp. I appreciate all of the individuals who push like the Infinity Comp to the nth degree. Like, it's a very well thought out process, like people like Victor Tess, Mullet Reaver. But for me, it's almost like there's nothing. I don't know. I don't really think you can do much with it now. You're just basically pushing numbers. You're just waiting for empowerment. So, what do you think about Leo for Hydra? He's good. I wouldn't use him for Hydra, really. I'd use him more for, like, Arena. I think he's just so good for Arena. Is there nothing on the Mega menu? Let me check. There is there, but it may not be in the menu. Just checking now. Arbiter missions. Do you know what? I think they're not there. I'll find you the link now, though. Is it that one or that one? We're pretty much done with this run now. I could stop it. Let's leave it run on auto, shall we? Okay, that's the Romant 2. Ah, look, there you go. That's the link. I'll get it added to the menu because we really should have that up there. So I'm just checking the DM now. Are you Darius Dax, Nick? Is that you, Darius Dax? Yeah, cool. I'll put it on the menu. It should be on the menu. Cool. Yeah, no worries, Nick. I'll reply to you probably tomorrow morning when I wake up because when we finish streaming here, it'll probably be quite late. Didn't you say earlier that there's always a point to doing more damage? Yes, but not in Hydra. Or do you mean like the Infinity Comp? I think what I mean by the Infinity Comp is I feel like there's nothing new we can learn with the Infinity Comp. All you're doing is you're reevaluating, can I get like one extra hit on the Corpulent Cadaver or something? Like, you can't swap out anyone. You can't like change it up. They've figured it all out. Unless they release a new champion that is like Hellborn, but a legendary with a big weak gun, nothing changes. Whereas when I'm doing my clan boss teams, it's can I figure out a way to get an extra turn in my clan boss team, like the Boltsmith, or can I use someone like Ruella with a 20% turn meter to manipulate the speeds to push more damage into the rest of my team. That's where I get a lot more enjoyment, is actually tweaking my clan boss team to find more ways to push it to different areas using different champions. Whereas the Infinity team feels really stacked, right? You need a Brogni, you need 3 extenders, and then you need Hellborn. Then you need Corpulent Cadaver. And that's it. There's no other option. It is what it is. And also, I feel like I couldn't bring any more value than what Victor Tess and Mullet Reaver bring. Like, those two are like all Affinity comp. They know what they're doing. See, one thing we could try in next week is, can this team survive Nightmare? I think it could. Now, next rotation, we kind of get the Torment Head back again. I don't know whether the fear would be too much of a problem in Nightmare. Nightmare's quite a big step up. We'll have to see. We might have to, like, rebuild some of them a bit more. But, you know, I mean, I've had it on auto for a while now, and it's still going, so be interesting to see how high we can get. Is Cleopteryx better for Arena or Hydra? I think she's good for Faction Wars. I think there are better hexes out there now. I think we've got a lot of hex options that we don't necessarily need a Cleopteryx. She does decent damage. She's a pretty strong, like, spirit nuker. She doesn't match Ruel. Do I think she's good for Hydra? She's a bit squishy. That's the only problem. Yeah, Dander, they've basically integrated their entire account all the way to get there. I could match their gear. My gear is good enough. It's whether or not I have the to be honest, it's the empowerments and the blessings. Like, I need a +4 Brogni to match it. And then it's just like, I don't have a Lanicus. A Lanicus is a little bit stronger. I don't have the Hellborn built up, but I could match it, right? I could do it if I wanted to. It's just, for me, it's almost like I'm not bringing anything to the table, so I don't know if it's really that, like, valuable. Do we know all the Hydra rotations now, or are there any combinations that have not yet happened? So there are 6 rotations. They haven't added any since, but they did tweak a few things around a couple of patches ago. Didn't change anything in-game, but they changed stuff in the code. So maybe we'll get a Season 7 when the new Hydra head comes out, whenever that is, because that seems to have gone quiet. I don't know if they've forgotten about it or whether they've hit problems, but we were due to get a new Hydra head like months ago, and we haven't had it, so... Not looking forward to the new Defiant set. Duchess, honestly, Simon, I think Defiant is going to be broken. The thing about Defiant, which everyone will need to know about, Defiant will be multiplicative, but additive with itself. So if I've got a Stalwart and a Defiant, it's actually less damage reduction than if I had 3 Defiants. It's better to run 3 Defiants, because 3 will add together to make 45%. Whereas with Stalwart will be 30 times 1.15, you know, it's 30 times 15%. So it means when you add in Blastproof, that's 5% reduction. When you add in Defiant, that's 35 protection. Maybe you put someone with a Duchess, that's another 25%. It's really going to stack up. It's really going to be hard. AoE damage dealing might be near impossible. Did you? Yes. I watched the whole thing. I stayed up all night watching it because I thought it was going to be a quick 3-0 because everyone's saying T1 are going to just annihilate DRX because that's all they've done all year. And it was a 5-game series for 6 hours long. I went to bed at like 6 in the morning. Insane series. I have no idea how Piosic came back from getting his like Baron stolen 2 times in a row. And especially 2 times when you've got what's her face up? Callista. Like, he lost Baron with Callista. Like, that's like tiltable. I don't even know how he came back from that. It's unreal. I know, right? It was just absolutely insane. I mean, you got to remember as well, like, I don't know if you caught it, but DRX was the team that had that horrific situation where they were about to beat EDG on game 2 and they got inhib trolled. The inhib respawned, they lost the game. And they came back from that and won that series 3-2. It is probably the greatest underdog story that's ever happened in Worlds history. It's insane. I don't even know how they won it. They weren't even meant to go to Worlds. They were 6th seed in LCK Summer. They fought their way back through the gauntlet, came as 4th seed, went through the play-ins, then topped their group, Absolutely insane. And I'm so happy as well, because Deft has been around the scene for so many years. Never won it. He's won everything else. He's won MSI, he's won LPL, LCK. And I think he's retiring because he has to do military service this year, so... Yeah. PO sick. The man is a monster. It does make you... like, when you watch them, though, you're in awe of their abilities, but then you think, good lord, I'm never going to be anywhere near as good as that. I did feel sorry for Carey at the end, though. He was absolutely broken, wasn't he? Well, the end game, Johnny, that was very, very clever what DRX did. They basically waited to the last game with the pressure the highest to basically throw a massive curveball and go, have Caitlyn. And then they were like, well, if we take Caitlyn, they're going to take the Karma and dominate the Caitlyn lane because Caitlyn Karma is what you want. And then they didn't take it. They took the Karma to deny it. But then they were like, oh, well, we haven't banned Aatrox. And you have to kind of ban out some of their champions. So they kind of, DRX just mind gamed them in that final draft. It was so crazy what they did. They clearly knew what they were doing. Their champion pool was deep. Yeah, he hasn't confirmed it, Danderbeer, but the rumors were he was either going to retire because he had to do military service or that he was going to call it quits. I mean, he's been playing for so long now. So long. But I think what was good about the series was you had the right storylines, right? You had the Demon King, Faker, coming back after 6 years trying to win his throne back. You had Deft finally being able in the finals for the first time ever. The two of them against each other. You had the storyline that Carrier joined DRX and basically said to Deft he was going to win him a world title, but then left, didn't win it. And you got these, like, Zeka was a monster. And funny enough, they were all talking about Deft and Zeka and Piosik. It was the top lane that carried it. Yeah, he was. I don't know if outplayed is right. I would say he was shut down. He wasn't allowed to express himself. Zeka did a very good job of keeping him sort of quiet. And he did mess up a few times. He seemed to mess up after game 1 or game 2. I don't know, maybe it was this thing that DRX always lost game 1 really hard against who was it against? It was against Genji in the semi-finals. They lost game 1 super hard, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go, Genji, number 1 seed, Chovy Kingdom, it's all gonna happen." And then Zeka just came out of nowhere and just gapped Chovy. Like, gapping Chovy is like, Chovy's the best laner in the world, and he just gapped him, absolutely like destroyed him completely, and Chovy was choking by the end of it. It felt like Faker was like too stubborn as well. Like when he could have picked Akali into the Azir, he picked the Victor. And Victor did have an impact, but I feel like Akali would have had more. When you watch Zeka play Akali, it's like it's like when you watch some people play the cat. You just like ban the champion. He's not allowed to play Akali. He's too good. King on Aatrox was a monster the whole game. But even not on Aatrox, he was still quite a monster in the semis. He did a lot. The only thing I was disappointed with the League of Legends finals, I thought the opening ceremony was terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they just didn't have any, like... The hype wasn't there. You know, they brought the players out to start with, and then the players vanished, and then the players came back. They were all lip syncing, and I don't know, it just didn't feel like any of the opening ceremony didn't build any hype for me. I wasn't fussed on it. And they also filled for a very long time. It took like an hour and a half for the games to start, or even 2 hours. Yeah, it's nothing against Little Nas. I actually quite like the song. A lot of people hate the song. I feel like it's quite a good League song. What I was disappointed with was the first song they had, which was the song that they had at the start of the season. Actually, is very hype building. I feel like it should have gone Little Nas X into that to build hype, and then the players come out and you actually have like a big kind of dramatic thing. I always remember when they did Legends Never Die, right? They started with the local bigger star when they were out in China, like the huge star in China. and then it fed into Legends Never Die, and then you had the dragon going around, and then when the final chorus came in, the players came out with the flags. It was hype, right? You got really excited. This one, you basically had Little Nas X jump around the stage for a bit, and then it was like, oh, here's the players, by the way. Good game. Even 2019 with Phoenix was awesome, right? That was in Europe. That was really cool, right? Because you had the board, you had True Damage, the band, you know, their digital band. It was pretty cool. So Saf, people say that if you were in the stadium, it was amazing. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. Because a lot of the talent crew, you know, like Shocks and all that, they were like saying, wow, the opening ceremony was really good. And everyone on the internet was like, I don't know what you were watching, but we felt that was awful. So I don't know whether it just didn't translate, but then there's a responsibility for them to ensure that whatever they put on the stage translates online, I think, because, you know, you've got 20,000 people on the stage, but you had I think they had 5.4 million viewers, non-Chinese, 1.4 million more than the last Worlds. It was huge viewership. And if they don't like it, that's a bigger audience that you should be appealing to. We need Krisk, Lydia, Dutchy Dutch. Where is she? We need Geomancer. Where's Geo? I can't see him here somewhere. There. We need Husky Husk. Yeah, the problem I think with Lil Nas X is he's not a league player, is he? When it works, it's when they have singers who are league, like are in the league community. You know, when they had against the current Chrissy Costanza is like big in the league community, right? In the gaming community. They've had like other singers that are big league players. They had what's her face? The one that did Jinx. She's big in the community. So people who understand the game, I think Lil Nas X was a big pull. Felt very Super Bowl-ish, but I don't really think he understands the game in any level of depth. I think it's a problem. But yeah, the World's Finals it's probably the best finals they've ever had. And it's probably been the best Worlds meta they've ever had. Because outside of the cat, we know the cat is horrific. That cat is just like overpowered as hell. But apart from the cat, all the other champions had counters and positives. Aatrox is a little bit strong, but you had counters and balances. There was always give and take. Yeah, Get Jinx is great. I actually think the best world song is... Oh, I just did it. Why do I always true fear myself on that? Every time. I actually think Legends Never Die is the best world song by a mile. Phoenix, close second. But then Rise is pretty good. And the one that What's-His-Face did. Imagine Dragons, I thought they were pretty good as well. So actually maybe it's just a lot of the songs are good. It was funny, I don't know if Hellhades is still in the chat. You were saying last night, oh, I'm going to watch it after stream. And I was meant to send you a message. It was like, if you're going to watch it, make sure you've got a lot of time because it's a long series. You might be there a while. Because it was a long series. Well, there was an answer for Aatrox. The problem is, you needed to be perfect in the lane, right? I mean, when they pick Gwen's not a great lane matchup for him. But if you get out of the lane with Gwen, she's really good into the other champions. I think you can run Fiora into it, but you need to index into it then. You've got to basically put your champions in a position where they can... Like, you need to set up the Fiora to run it. You also had the Camille could play into it quite well. Oh, look at that. RNG. That's going to get spread to everyone. There's nothing I can do about that. I can block it on you. Oh, damn. True fear. Okay. So I think there was an answer to Aatrox. I just think you had to play it correctly, and I think a lot of teams couldn't figure it out. This is going to be an awkward situation because we can't cleanse, we can't do anything. So we're going to get full cleansed, and now my damn Duchess has been feared. Yeah, Jax is not options. There were options. I think that's the point to make. I think there were options. I just think that you had to play it perfectly. And I also think Kingen was gapping Zeus. I know people said Zeus had a good series. He wasn't as bad as he sounded. I think Kingen gapped him mentally. I think he was just so much like he was on point. He knew what he was doing. I shouldn't have done that. I don't even think they peaked at the right time. I just think they played to their strengths all the right times. Or more to the case, they never gave up. I think that's the big thing. This run is not going so well. They don't appear to be doing much damage right now. Right. I don't really need to provoke anymore. Oh, stop stealing the buffs. Right, let's get the provoke out. We need to get the burnout on you. That's good. We've got a refresh proc. It's looking a bit sketchy, this. We kind of need to recover it a bit. I need to save that because I need to get the veil out so that I can extend the veil. Let's put you on you. Let's make sure... stupid fear. Are we going to RNG the fear? Oh, look at that. It's blocked it again. Honestly. No, we're not. At least we can steal a buff this time, but he's going to cleanse again. Honestly, the RNG of this run has been awful. Normally I can control this, like, dude pretty comfortably. Because the buffs have all fallen awkwardly, that one husk steal, and he's just not picking the right target. Really frustrating me a little bit. Oh, don't make him fully heal. We need to kill that. I don't think I can get that stun out in time. This run is going badly, guys. Okay, at least we got that stunned. That was important. I don't know if I can recover this, because it's looking a little bit sketchy all over. Might as well burn you. Ah, don't fear. Oh, for God's sake. RNG is ruining me this run. I don't care. Max HP. How am I only at 5 million at this point? Honestly, what is going on with this team? It's a... fears... Right, can we just get this head down before he takes a turn, please? Take the buff away. Kill the Hydra head. Oh, by the way, which blessing do you think is best for 6-star Hellhades? Currently on Cruelty. Where are you using him, Dandabear? You are right, Carlos. Way too much RNG. Like, what I need right now is to get this back into RNG where, when the Veil happens, I can extend it. But I haven't been able to do that because of all the RNG crap that I'm getting. Right, I can do that. Now, we're going to be in a sketchy situation because Dutch is about to get eaten. And my enemy max HP is down at the moment, so we kind of need... Right, let's get the Provoke out there, make sure that's back under. Can I get the Veil out before this happens? Yes. Okay, well the Veil's out at least. And it would be on the one head that I cannot target. Of course it is. So that's the way this runs. And now we're going to get Poison Cloud, which I'm not too much of a problem with, as long as my dwarf can stay alive. Please give me good. Thank you. That's what I needed. Right. Let's burn him. Enemy max HP. Good. Getting some luck finally. Provoke. Make sure you don't get Poison Cloud at all. I need to get my Duchess out. Right. We're okay. No, William. Nothing is ever lost. It's always recoverable, this team. I just had an awful run of RNG trying to get the right extension going. It's all because I had one bad RNG check where he stole buffs off a target with a 3%. That's where that went wrong. Currently using him in Iron Twins, Dungeons, Doom Tower, Normal. So if you already have 1-star Brimstone on a team, you probably wouldn't want it. Cruelty is a great option because he is going to counterattack a lot. So I actually think Cruelty is probably a pretty good choice for him. I think that's a good option. Oh, I know. It's just because I had like RNG bad after RNG bad after RNG bad. I just needed one to get myself back into a flow. This team is normally quite stable. But this run is just taking a lot longer to get going. You know, we got double Provoke, so we've always got this Provoke under control. We get Lydia giving us buffs. Geo burns out. We should be, you know, rocking some decent damage here. You know, and both of my Provokes can go through Poison Cloud. That's the logic. You know, I've got double placements, so they don't, like, ever have any problems. This is a situation we should be in now. You see, it's pretty stable. Everyone is burnt. My team is safe. I haven't got any fears going on all the time. I can start rocking some, you know, hits on this guy. There he goes. If I actually bothered doing some masteries properly, this would be better again. Well, I'll just hit A1 here for some damage. Well, the last team I didn't have it. All that happened was I could never get the sync. There's a sync that I need here where Duchess does her A2 into the extend from Krisk. That's what I needed to set up, because then the Veils will last longer and the Fears are okay. But because the buff got stolen and then Provokes happened, I couldn't get them back into sync. That was the main issue. But now we're back in the sync. See, we're going to do this, and then we're going to extend. We don't need to Provoke, because Skull Lord should be there to Provoke. And Krisk should always be the one that gets targeted by the Mischief Head. So we should always have that problem. It's just for some reason it decided it didn't want to target the Krisk once, and it caused this all like a cascading problem. That's the problem with Hydra, as Carlos pointed out. That one little RNG check can completely throw the run. But it was recoverable. I just needed to get the thing back in rotation. Night, Elliot. I don't think we're going to be much longer here once this run is finished, hopefully. We'll have a look at where we are with the fusion. I think I still need to do dungeon divers. We can just do that. Okay. Mischief head down. That's actually really solid. Being able to decapitate the Mischief head when you've just decapitated a head is actually quite big, because you reset the turn meter down to 2. So that there, I've now got essentially double the amount of uptime on my decapitated head state. So even though I don't have any crazy damage dealers here, the multiplier will still add up a lot of damage. Then I can get decreased speed out. So now we can proper start ramping some damage up. Need to get back into sync though. It's not worth me using my enemy max HP here, because I got 2 dead heads and you don't get any multiplier. That's the thing with enemy max HP. You've got to remember, if the heads are dead, you still can't get more than 10%. So you might as well save it to when you need it and just use your on hit, because your on hit is going to do just as much damage probably as your enemy max HP. Yeah, I'm doing 50 Ks there. We can burn him because obviously he's still alive. Will Sandlash be viable instead of Krisk? Yeah, of course he will. Not as viable, obviously, because Krisk is a monster, but it can definitely be replaced for sure. Do you think it's better to fuse it on CBC or the last minute champion chase? Depends on how hard you're going on clan versus clan. It's non-personal clan versus clan. So for my clan, we're not doing anything other than just the bare minimum to hit tier 6, because we want a better placement for the personal, right? We know we can push a lot higher, but we're going to save our resources for the next one. So it's whether or not I want to burn more like energy and stuff towards getting clan versus clan points, or whether I just want to go, hey, I'll just get 15,000. I personally would prefer 1,500 clan versus clan points at the moment. 1,500 champion chase points. Because I'm more likely to get an extra legendary book if I have a few voids to pull than if I try and get the clan versus clan done, because I'm going to get the legendary book at the end. All I'm getting is a few more reaction if we do win, which is not as valuable to me. So I'm going to save mine for the chase. But I can see an argument for both. Do you agree with me? Unkillable and block damage champions are the most valuable in the game. Ooh. It's a controversial question, isn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to hold that answer, Rule, because I want to look at my account when I finish this to see what I would consider as the most valuable champion in my account, and kind of phrase my answer based on that. So I'll answer that in a second. Hey, Saf, so does Brimstone go on cooldown for all champions that have the blessing, or can they apply it subsequently? So the smite debuff can only be out there once. So if it's out, and you say like you have 2 champions, right? Champion 1 places Brimstone. That goes on cooldown for 4 turns. Champion 2 can't place it. It doesn't go on cooldown, doesn't do anything. It'll sit there until it can place Brimstone. Once it places Brimstone on Champion 2, then it goes on cooldown. So they don't really go on cooldown, but at the same time, they're kind of useless to have 2. Does that make sense? There is a champion chase. The chase will be on Sunday. You have about 8 hours. So you've got to be quick. If you're not quick, you could lose out. So my Friday is going to be stressful because I effectively have to fuse all 8 epics, all 4 epics at the same time, get them all up to 50, fully ascend them, then fuse the legendary in about 8 hours. It's a bit tight. I actually should check the potions, which I keep forgetting to do. Yeah, Rule, but you can get Ultra Nightmare clan boards without unkillable or block damage. That's the question for me. That's why I want to have a look at my account to see which champion that I would sit there and go, that's really valuable for me. This run is just taking a lot longer than I expected. That's why we're still here at this hour. The tournament rewards are dropping in quality, I admit. There is a 2-turn CD that's still, so it's okay having it on 2 champs. Yeah, I don't think there's any value, though. I really don't think there's any value in having multiple Brimstone champions, because I think it's just a waste of a blessing, because it's always going to be out there with one champion. Like, my 1-star Jintoro keeps Brimstone on a clan boss in 3-1 rotation 100% of the time at 1 star. So I don't really need another champion. Nethril Blessing for clan boss. Phantom Touch? No? Phantom Touch a good idea? What do you think? I think Phantom Touch is great. Damage, build him with attack. Depends how you build him, right? If he's unkillable, Phantom Touch. If he's not unkillable, Faultless Defense. Because you want him to survive longer. Faultless Defense on Affinity Clan Boss is bonkers strong. We're talking Faultless Defense is effectively a triple Defiant set. That's how strong it is. Faultless Defense plus triple Defiant will be like extremely powerful for traditional Clan Boss on Affinity Clan Boss. Extremely powerful. I did that out of sync, but I think it's okay because I got enemy max HP. Oh, come on. Oh, not the cleanse. I forgot to provoke. Hang on, guys. I just need to focus on getting this transition done okay. Yes. Ooh. I think we're okay now. It's a bit sketchy there for a second. Extend all the buffs. And then more, hopefully that dude has his provoke. Yes. Okay, where was this tag team tournament is good as I remember, not sure. Yeah, the tag teams are normally quite good because they're a newer tournament, KRM. And also it's good because they did it on a Monday. Normally they do tag teams that start on a Friday and everyone's like kind of putting their defenses up, so it's always harder. So Helicath was a great fusion. But I never use my Helicath, so I think Demytha is better than Helicath for a clan boss, personally. Because I feel like Helicath slows the runs down. I was really disappointed that the IG tournament gaining pack didn't have a Void Shard. Yeah, they vary. I'm not against them putting like Soul Stones instead of Void Shards, right? I'd rather a tier 1 or a tier 2 Soul Stone. That's pretty good. Mine doesn't have 2 1-star on CB as of my problems. Conventional CB teams need too much stuff. I don't think they do need that many. They rely more on your Great Hall, but I don't think it needs that much more. I actually think unkillable teams need more speed than conventional clan boss, which is always hard. Ian Ellis, hey Saf, I would say for me personally, Kaimar is my most valuable champion. He is the only one I have 3 built of outside of 3v3. Agreed, I think Kaimar's huge. Like, Yumiko, it's hard to argue that if I had Demytha or if I had Yumiko, which one is going to be more impactful for my account? Because it's going to be Yumiko, by a mile. Is this really live? Yeah. This is not a replay, guys. Even though it feels like it because of this stupid clan boss. This Hydra. Yeah, the daylight saving times, Dando, has been messing me up so much. Like resets being at 10 o'clock and midnight. Like I've got to finish this very quickly in case I haven't done my dailies. Let's get enemy max HP. That's like 1.8 million. That was only 600,000. Why? Yeah, I really hate it when they do tag team on a Friday because I feel like, you know, people want to just farm it. Just let them farm it. You weren't able to complete the Hellhades rule. I can't remember how difficult that one was. I know it was when I was traveling a lot, I think. So I can't recall how complex it was. I know the last few fusions have been pretty tough going. Right, can I get enough damage out here to just get this done? Because this is honestly the longest run of my life. I still have a bunch of champions that I'm going to be building for Hydra that I just haven't had a chance to build. And this should make some of these runs easier, like Mighty Uko. I've got him ready to be built. I've got different other champions like Val would be interested to see how we can scale. So this is a pre-recorded chat, yeah. It's all fake, guys. We're in like the metaverse somewhere. I wonder what fusions 2023 will bring. I'm actually excited to see how next year's fusion will pan out for Hellhades 2023 free-to-play account. You mean his new free-to-play account? Is he starting a new free-to-play account? Is that what he said? I know he's ending his current one. I keep saying, and I feel like I lied to the community when I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to start a new account. I actually have a new account to use. I just haven't had time to play it. I'm currently like spinning 5 plates of things we want to update, and I just haven't had a chance to like even think about playing a second account. Hellhades was the sheeps and king. Oh yeah, the sheeps, the goats. I remember the goats. Everyone wanted a goat. The question should be, what champion would I most want if I could start at my account? Yumiko. Yumiko's A2 is so... Yumiko disables the game. Yumiko's A2 disables the game. That's the only way I can explain it. It's such a strong ability. It lets everything through. Right, we're done. I think we're done. Is it 20.4 million? I think it's 24 million. Dungeon Divers. Like, I remember like 6 months ago, everyone's like, Dungeon Divers, it's easy. You'll just do Dungeon Divers. Dungeon Divers is not hard at all. Dungeon Divers is the hardest events, I find. Like, the one I've got left over now is Dungeon Divers. It's the one that takes the most amount of energy, the most amount of grind. We're just going to go to 22 million, and then I'm going to end it. I always get nervous. Best way to deal with Yumiko is Yumiko. Yeah. Will the new Hydra head be able to turn you... I don't know. I have no idea what the new Hydra head is. I know it's going to be like void-like. It's in the actual loading screen, so it's clearly something that they've got like relatively planned. We just haven't heard anything about it. No, William, this is not Nightmare. This is Brutal. I currently run Brutal, Hard, and Nightmare. My team that I just did on Brutal might be able to do Nightmare. To be honest, I feel like I need to properly build out a Nightmare team. I can't just rely on RNG. Right, we're done. I can't take any more. It's over. Geo only just beaten Husk. Hydra's over for another week, guys. Thank God. Like, my Brutal team is pretty good. 44.8 million. Ninja is still a strong champion. Mithrala. Like, don't underestimate the strength of the Hex debuff change. Mithrala with her poisons and Hex is doing 7.8 million. She's my second highest damage dealer in this team. It's crazy. It's only little bits. It's like 1,000 here and 500 there. It adds up over the fight. Urgo at 2.4. Godseeker at 4. Cantor at 5.5 with Soul Reap. I do feel like I need to change Soul Reap out for something. I just haven't decided what yet. Nekmothar. You know, maybe Temporal Chains might be good here. At 5-star. What does that give us? What does Temporal Chains give us? 15? Like, do they need a buff? That's the only problem. They need a buff, right? So I don't think that's as good. It's really difficult. Like, what do I run here? There's no point in me running Brimstone because Ninja's got Brimstone. And Brimstone's pretty rubbish in Hydra anyway, because there's only really one head that it's good for. So Polymorph is pointless. Rend is only good if you're like 6-star, so that's pointless. Incinerate's pointless. These two are pointless. Life Harvest, pointless. Aura could be good, I guess, but it's only 15%, and I'm not crazy about that. Like, what, 15% more speed? These three. Hero Soul, I'm wondering if it could be quite good, but she's not built for damage, but I think that could be quite good in Hydra. Ward of the Fallen's pointless. Temporal Chains, if you've got buffs out on the enemy, you've got a problem. Cruelty could just be the best way. But again, like, trying to ramp up Cruelty is not as easy as it sounds on Hydra, because you kill the heads, it resets it. You know, I could go to Lightning Cage so that I can't get buff steals. It's pointless, because if that's to happen, I'm in trouble. So I'm a bit on the fence as to what to put on there at the moment, I'll be honest. I'm not sure. Right, so the question was, what would be the most influential champion to pull? Is unkillable and block damage the best champion? Is it like, is it the most important champion to get? So if I look at my account now, which champion am I sitting here going, he is in, or he or she or it, whatever you want to call it, is essential to my account? It's a toughie. Like, you know, Seer kind of clears everything. It's kind of OP. Something like a Deacon is like a game changer. I would say, Rule, you're not wrong. If you manage in the early game to pull Demitha, yes. Then again, if you pull a Krizia, this champion can basically one-shot everything in the content for you. I can run traditional teams with a Krizia. Void Legendary, don't get me wrong, I know that, but still, it's a very low chance you're getting it. But this champion is like insane for every part of PvE. Just constant enemy max HPs. Probably not so much for Clan Boss, I guess, because it's capped at 75,000. But Yumiko is just... If Yumiko didn't have this ability, I would be all in for the unkillables. But this ability is just so strong. It disables the content. Anytime anyone wants to put a debuff on you, you send half of it back. The boss wants to put like bombs on you, send it back. If you want to put a hex on you, send it back. If they want to put like debuffs, you send it back. It's really, really strong. You get these reset abilities. She's also immune at the start of fight. Like, but you are right. If we think about what's realistically strong for a new game, because obviously Void Legendaries are hard to get, pulling a Demitha is game changing for a lot of people. Pulling a Maneater, probably game changing. But I would say Demitha teams have overtaken Maneaters now. I don't see, like, if I look at my clan boss teams in my clan today, like, how many people are running Bat Eater now? So we've got 2 Bat Eaters here. Block damage, my team. Block damage, Bat Eater, block damage, Bat Eater, Bat Eater. But you can see, like, the Bat Eaters are a lot lower than block damage these days. By far, the better team these days is the block damage teams. So, Rules, in answer to your question, I would say, unless you get lucky and pull a Yumiko, or you get crazy luck and you pull, like, I don't know, an Acrizia, I do agree that if you really want an unkillable champion, because it opens up the floor to be able to build different teams easier. Because in the early game, as I said, if you haven't got the 4 roles, Clan Boss is hard. If you get an Ally Protector, you can Ultra Nightmare, but if you get a block damage team, then you can much easily jump. You don't need as much gear requirements. If you can hit the speed requirements, all you need to do is get it in tune. All you need is speed. You can work on your damage. Normally, most unkillable teams will be able to 2-key with just speed. Does Sniper affect Yumako's A2? No. Sniper only affects debuff placement. She transfers debuff, that's an instant, so no. Doesn't Warlord disable Yumako? Not if Yumako goes first. Which champ let you do Ultra Nightmare consistently is a question. Actually, for me, was Maneater and Kreela. I did a budget unkillable first. But it's different because I did that like 2.5 years ago. It's hard to do the same comparison now with so many different options. I actually think Demytha's controversial. I think Demytha's a better champion than Brogni. Controversial. Because of the A2. I don't use my Brognis as much as I use my Demytha. Simple as. Yeah, George, exactly. Pulling an unkillable like that, you know, going from a 4-key to a 2-key is massive. So... But yeah, it's difficult because obviously there are like ultra OP champions, right? But I think on balance, if you were to say, you know, which champion was gained, like for example, great example here, Riho Bone Spear, right? I know for a fact that Riho Bone Spear can pretty much solo Sorath 120 hard in pretty reasonable gear. Not crazy, but reasonable. So she's going to carry your team, right? But will she like be massively influential for your account? Probably not as much as pulling someone like Demytha. So that's the answer to that question. Oh look, Ancient Shards. Because we reset in the month. That's pretty cool. How many? I need like 5 more Void Shards by tomorrow. Or by Wednesday. Hopefully we can pick up a few Void Shards from here or there. Right, we're not doing this. We don't need to. We picked up a spare cape. We do need to do more of this by tomorrow. How far away are we? We're like 400. Luckily, that's going to last another day, so I can double dip on that. Ice Golem. I'm not going to go for that epic book. I can't be bothered. It's too much effort. Fire Knight's going to start in ages. That'll be cool to get. So I think my day... Have I finished all the daily quests? Quick check. Yes, I have. Have we finished all of Doom Tower? This is what you do at the end of the day. Have I done everything? We'll hit Clan Boss for a bit now. I can buy this Void Shard, but I'm a bit short on gold bars right now, so... What we should do is... What you should do on a lot of situations is if you are a clan versus clan player, you buy some gems. It's the most efficient clan versus clan points. Tag team. Do I think Nia is worth it alongside Yumako? Yes. I think Nia on her own is worth it. I don't think you can get a better all-round Void Epic than you can get with Nia. I think she's just so good. Do some arena. You can run Demytha in a lot of endgame PvE content at 5-star and she's very useful. Not a lot of chumps. Her A2 is monstrous. People forget that her A2 in the right setup is it's an insane heal. Because it also decreases the duration of debuffs, right? So it's a cleanser to some extent. Plus it's a massive heal. Look at this bait. I've got to do this. This is an example of how going second is so easy. We're going to take you out. We're going to put in Borogni. Where is he? And we're going to put in... So this is the thing about Arena, right? I'm looking at it and going, they're all magic. So really, the best champion here is that. Ideally with reaction. There's no way they kill my team here. Such a bait team. I could kill one of their champions and I wouldn't care. And just provoke him. And just kill him. It's like, it's so obvious what they're trying to do. You can't tell. You can't, like, give it away like this. This is what I mean by going second. Now, I don't need Krisk. I don't need Asuga here. Brogni with a shield is good enough. I can just kill him. I don't care. It's just like, I'll break through Stone Skin. Granted, I got Void Legendaries here. I'm not saying, like... Just as an example. People are... The reason why you go into top arenas, like, there's no Arbiter teams, because Arbiter can't compete with these teams anymore. You see Arbiter in there as an immunity Arbiter, right? It's a reviver, but not as a booster anymore. There's no Arbiter lead teams. Like, that is too early for Plat. Just climb too early. These will be taken out. Let's just cleanse some teams, shall we? See the power of Baron. I don't know if we'll get a guaranteed Void Legendary for a while. Now that we've had the Fortis. I'm sorry, Fartus, as Scratch likes to call him. Bye-bye, people. Baron is monstrous. So gross. Six-star split soul. Ah, I bet you didn't have the essence for it, though. Some people have, because they basically trade in all their coins, right? Someone actually gave me an argument. I can't remember who it was. It was a Discord message about a couple of weeks ago, who was basically saying when I put my video out about Iron Twins, I put not enough value in essence, because in his opinion, his math, if you invested all of your resources into getting the essence, you'd be able to get enough within 4 to 5 months. And you'd have enough rotation, which I can kind of understand the math, but I just felt like it was still bad. Is there viable Yumiko Nia teams out there? I don't think many people have pulled Nia yet, but I think... See if we can find one here. The problem is, there's not many Yumiko people out there either. That's the hard part. Not unless you're Ultra Wailing. Look at these teams, like, so disgusting. Like this team here, you could replace the Kaimar if you wanted to, or you could replace the Arbiter or something else like that, and Yumiko Nia runs here. You could find... I don't know if there's any more Yumiko teams in this list. Yumiko here. It's a great example. Rotus is the win condition. You just keep resetting Yumiko, so you keep resetting Siphi. So gross. You'd never kill anyone. It's probably better with like an Ultimate Death Knight or something, or with Necret. I just feel like... I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like there's teams that could do it. I feel like it could be really toxic to fight. You get really annoyed. If you don't push Plat while having a Baron, I'm going to... I'm thinking about it, but you got to remember, Anthony, it's not about the Baron. It's about the lack of Kaima, Warlord, Siphi, Rotus, Necret. Let's look at this meta, right? I don't have Cardiel or Necret. I don't have Necret, Rotus, or Siphi. I don't have Necret, Cardiel. Rotus, Siphi, Necret. Necret, Yumiko. I don't have 3 of these team. 2 of these team. 2 of these teams. Do you see what my problem is? I don't have 2 of these teams. It's like really gross. I don't have Warlord. Don't have 2 of that. I don't have 2 of that. I did pick up a Valkyrie recently. That's a plus. Not that she's in the meta much. Don't have a Leorius. I don't have a Lanikis. Not that that really matters. Like, some of these guys are rocking +4 Necrets. I don't even have 1. Don't have Yumiko. Don't have Hegemon. If you literally gave me a top 10 list of the top 10 arena champions, I can guarantee I probably don't have 8 of them. Because I don't have Hefrak. Relatively new champion, that's fine. That 6-star perfect polymorphed Asuga. Frog's a bit of a whale. I don't know which frog it is. But can you imagine fighting this? A +4, 6-star, fully awakened Cupidus. 565 player power. How can I push Plat against that? You know what I mean? How can I push plat against that? I can probably sneak into the bottom of plat. Don't get me wrong. But it won't be an enjoyable experience. Yeah, IPR's the new Kraken clan. They're the ones that spend all the money these days. You know, there's some use in sort of Mighty Yoko. But not... I could basically push plat if I just pull Necret. Then I can do something. But because I don't have Necret, it means that my protection options for my defense is really easy. Like, this is my defense at the moment. It's like so 2021. It's like a year old. Like, that's going to get farmed. I've literally no defense that I could make it hard for them to do. So it's cool that I got all the good blessings. Like, my Baron can one-shot any team, right? You give me any team, like this team here, I could one-shot that team. I could one-shot this team. It's not a problem. It's just, you know, like this team here, for example, right? It's an easy win. I don't even need... We won't even use the Ceres. I'll just drop her to me to here. Don't even need the Ceres. Such an easy win. I don't need drop defense, but it's... I have no defensive options, and that's going to be the problem. Because I have no defensive options, actually trying to stay alive in Arena is going to be really hard. Like, I'm fighting these teams. Granted, I wouldn't think I could be top 50, top 100. It's a different meta, right? But because I just have so few of the meta options, I don't have a Kai'Ma, so I can't run Kai'Ma lead teams. You know, I don't have the Siphi Rotus option. Siphi Rotus is the solution to Baron right now. If I had a Siphi Rotus, I could use that as an alternative. Don't have that right now. So... we need spirit potions, don't we? So I need a lot of these. What's my spirit potion like? Oh, it's 10. It's not so bad. I could probably use some more, though. Just go kill some... Let's get a better team here. Baron. Should we bring Fortis in for a bit of joke? Useless champ. I don't know why I got him. I did for some reason. Spirit. It's not so much money wars rule. I can win without spending lots of money. What I need is the Necret. It's the champion gap for me right now. I can overcome it with my gear. I can easily get into plat if I had Necret, but because I literally... I could even do it if I didn't have Necret, but say had Siphi Rotus, or if I had Kai'Mas, or if I had a Warlord. But because I don't have a lot of the meta, it means that my team that I can build is really small. Like, we're talking, I'm dealing with very small amounts of options. And that's the problem, basically. Oh my god, am I losing this? What is going on? I'm having to manual a potion keep. What is wrong with me? One more and I can ignore it. Apparently, my team wasn't built properly. I know, right? It's probably because my I've probably taken gear off some champions I thought I hadn't. I also didn't really run the proper setup here. It's fine. It's no problem. Baron, one shot. Oh, the Baron A1 is gross. Oh, yay. 5 mystery shards for that. I think it's because I took gear off my salad, did I? Oh no, he's built. Don't know why I did that. Baron A1, it's like Trunder's A1, A2, double kill. It basically double crit damage. Just one shot. Let's try something else. Are you still built, or have I taken gear off you? You're still built. Are you still built? Or have I taken stuff off you? This is the problem. I go through this and go, are you still built? Are you still built? You're still built. Not Yanis. I am probably going to go very soon as well. We're just going to use up the last of our energy here. Playing with some fun champions. Like, I don't know. You die. You die. I mean, she's weak affinity. I didn't really think of this. If I'm still missing 90% of the void Legos, is it worth pulling 30% right before ×2? Is she better than... Put it like this. I don't have Siphi, Rotus, Yumiko, and I'm still pulling Nia. But then again, I'm a bit of a crack addict when it comes to Yumiko. So when it comes to Nia, I think she's one of the best void epics you can get in the game. And for 30 voids, it's substantial, but not to the point where you're like, it's a bit too much, right? Not sitting there going breaking the bank here. It's really hard to know for sure. I really like Franox. It's really good. Hey, look, I found a place for Morrigan. She can stop the healing of the Spirit Keep boss. Isn't that good? Before I go, interestingly, the damage from Soul Reapers was earlier. Yeah, I've noticed that some of the animations are firing before things happen now. Like the Fire Knight Shield. Glyph animations are a little bit funny. I've noticed that. Let's kill you. 136,000. Let's kill you. Do you think Nia's worth it if you're free to play? Yeah. She's a monster in Hydra. That's the thing. Did she 4-hit Phantom Touch on last hit? Who's this now? Franax? Don't think so. It's probably, you're probably seeing War Master and the Phantom Touch. Yeah, I think they've changed the game code to basically speed up the engine a little bit, so things are firing in a different way. So maybe the graphics is just firing sooner. I think it's a problem. I think if it improves the game performance, it's better. But I have noticed that things are in a different, weirder animation. Ready? Full damage on the boss. 242,000 damage. She's a monster. Honestly. A monster champion, that. I know it's only potion keys, but it's fun to hit big numbers. When do you think the Silver Watches faction wars come out? I think 6 to 9 months. At least. 6 to 9 months. That's what I'd say. Yeah, I mean, if you're not hitting Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, then 30 Void Shards is a great investment because you can hit Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. She's, you know, up there as good as any ally protector in the game. So... Really? Don't you cleanse? You. One shot. Oh, it's close. Almost. There we go. Yeah, we've all done that. I actually have some blessings. I don't know what to pick, right? Because I've got a Morley one there at 2-star. I haven't quite figured out what to pick that. I've got like Royal Guard. Crushing Rend would be ideal, but not until he's 6-star. Ceres, until she's 4-star, it's not really much use. I haven't figured out what I want for Deacon. We've got a little blessing here for Helicath. I haven't figured out what to put there. Arenaris is at 3-star. Marinix is at 1. I've got a lot of different ones. Yakal's at 3. I think I've also got like Krutraxa will probably be Phantom Touch. I just haven't put it in yet. Yoshi could be interesting for Arena. Sheep, 2-star. Cillian, 4-star Abyss. I know, red dots. I just don't know what I want to pick for them. Got a 4-star Venomage. What do I put on there for like a Venomage? Helmet's got 3. Cornelia. So I got a lot of Awakenings, and that is just not even taking into consideration all this that I got lying around. Look at all the legendary souls that I got for legendary champions that I don't own somehow. How have I managed to get this many legendary blessings that I don't own? Of all the legendary champions in the game that I own, these are the ones I don't have. It's actually quite an achievement. I think it's mathematically improbable. But there we are. So guys, I think that is going to be that for the night. We're in a good position for the fusion. We only need one more of these blimming Kates. Look, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. One more from Dungeon Divers. And then we just got to get them all at like max level. Got to awaken all these. So Friday I'm going to do all the fusion. I will probably be putting a video out tomorrow on some cool math. If you're interested in seeing tomorrow the top 10 rare damage champions in the game, mathematically speaking, then tomorrow's video should have those out. Be interesting for you to see if you're interested in like some unusual champions you'd never have thought to be included in a top 10 list. That was where you'll find it. We've got like a mini series coming up this week. I'm going to be doing like top 10 rares, top 10 epics, top 10 legendaries. That should be quite cool. And I'll probably do a video as well on Nia specifically on Wednesday when I pull the 30 void shards for her. Because I'll probably pull like the souls at the same time, right? Because that doesn't reset. So I'll probably do like a Hydra soul / Nia shard pull and kind of go into detail again why I think Nia is quite good. So that's kind of like the schedule for this week. I'll be back on Thursday for another stream. Probably be raid. Wednesday was a special one last week, and I was going to stream again on Thursday, but I was just so tired after Wednesday and a bunch of different things. So yeah, we'll see what condition I'm in. It is tomorrow if you're an American citizen. I don't introduce politics, but if you're an American citizen, it is your midterm elections. I will be watching late night as a keen political person. I do watch all the elections. I'm sad, I know. But if you're American, go vote. It's important. Hopefully you Americans don't let me down. But until the next stream, guys, I'll catch you on Thursday. Keep a video out. Enjoy. Good luck if you're going for the fusion. Good luck if you're going for Nia. Hopefully you get a legendary on the way. I'll catch you in the next stream. Ciao.